So he must have a bit of talent.
Well, Ben Rutten's gone to Alastair Lynch, and we're underway for round 17. The Crows and the Lions, as Tyson Stengline gets the first kick for the evening, drives it forward, going back for the Lions. Copeland, he gets a free kick too high, and immediately they switch it, or try to switch it to the outer side. Nodding round the body, running hard Leppich. Time to take a bounce, gets the Shepherd. Now he's a bit indecisive here, Leppich. He's run onto his left boot. The kick somehow falls into the arms of Charman.
I would say that was a great pass, Tony, don't you think? They don't have missed kicks with the Brisbane Lions, do they? Well, we think they're missed kicks. They practice those ones.
I think you'll see Jamie Charman pushing forward a hell of a lot tonight.
Well, he's kicked 8 goals for the season, just 19 in his career. Backing back, Carousella couldn't take it. It's bounced off, finally forced through for a behind. So Riscatelli, that's a fantastic story, isn't it?
Oh,
the parents getting a phone call from the Brisbane Lions, and they'll be absolutely chuffed tonight. Their son is playing AFL football with one of the greatest sides we've ever seen. Just come from one of their coterie grips, and they're talking about maybe 4, 5, 6 premierships on the trot, taken away by Power. He's been a star. Black is a star. Stands and delivers and kicks a goal.
Well, KB, just too easy from the kick in, from the point, the rush point. It's kicked out to the 50-metre arc, and the one thing about Brisbane Lions are very disciplined in keeping the ball in play and keeping it alive, and then a quick handball to Black. We can just see it out here. Lukey Power, one of the fabulous 5 now, not just the Fab 4, the fabulous 5, and if you give him enough space, Simon Black will not miss a goal from that distance.
Lions draw first blood through Simon Black, who has got Tyson Stengline for the evening, so that won't be an easy night for one of the Brownlow medalists here at the Lions. They've got the first goal, 1-1, and a 4-way battle for top spot with St Kilda, Melbourne and Port Adelaide. Percentage will be very important come round 22 as the Lions get a clearance once again. Joel McDonald goes back. Here's Black, couldn't quite take possession. Here go the Crows now, they're away. Gallagher, Rashudo, precision passing to Johncock. Graham Johncock on centre wing, and people at home in Adelaide will be watching and just keen to see how this young forward line goes with Bock, Jericho, Watts, and we're over for a boundary line throw-in. And I guess, Tony, with that loss of Welsh and the retirement of Carey, it's just a completely different forward line, but a wonderful opportunity for Neil Craig over the next 6 weeks to get a good look at these players.
Well, it is Scotty Welsh is the one to be missing through flu. He was ill during the week, didn't train as the ball goes over the boundary line, but yeah, he's the one. I think he's kicked close to 16, 17 goals in the last 3 games, as we can see some of the bench players there for the Brisbane Lions.
Riscatelli with Hadley and McLaren.
He'd be nervous.
Voss thought about the handball, then throws it on the boot, and Stengline takes a good mark and switches play quickly. Riley, talented young player. Goodwin, good to see him back. First came back last week after missing 12 weeks. Long ball. Mal Michael, the big punch. It's a super punch once again. That's what he's known for. Johnson. This is Ackermanis, as Tony mentioned. Pretty quiet last week, but keen to have a good night. Inboard to Charman running. Charman hits to the goal square. Rutten with Lynch over the back. It dribbles through and hits the post just to behind.
Tony, I would have thought most sides now would have worked it out that Mel Michael is going to go the big punch along with Justin Leppich. So you stand 15, 20 metres off the ball running in because you know the ball's going to come.
Well, players get impatient. You know that, KB, and you were one of the best crummers of all time, but players do get impatient. They get too close to the contest, and Mel Michael, as you said, is one of the best spoilers in the competition.
Did he play his first game under you?
Yes. And I tell you what, we didn't want him to leave Collingwood.
You've always maintained he'd be a terrific forward.
I still believe that.
Just getting rid of Bock. Leppich, All-Australian centre-half back. And loose players. Charman has been fantastic in the opening moments. Here's a chance for Copeland. There's a bit of a surprise packet last year in the grand final, picking up Nathan Buckley. And there's Rutten pushing off Alastair Lynch. That's not easy. Transfer of play, looking for McGregor. Comes from Goodwin. bit of experience back in the side last week for Goodwin. A big boost to the Adelaide Crows, and Biglands marks across half back. Goes short. Finds Matner, who's a pretty tough player. Matner, a beautiful kick. Deep inside 50. Looking for the ball was Jericho. Got pushed out of the contest that time by Bradshaw. Bit of experience. John Cock, the tackler. Here's a chance for Skipworth. And the whistle's gone. And the free kick is going to the Crows.
Well, they're just working the ball. They're getting a fair amount of possession. Well done. As I look behind play, Simon Goodwin's just gone down to young Ben Rutten for the job he's doing at the moment on Alistair Lynch. It's going to be a big job. You can quell his influence. Long way to go in winning this game. See Daniel Bradshaw there, no doubt about the free kick, had prior opportunity.
Just playing his 15th game. He's kicked 6 goals this season. Skipworth directly in front. To get the Crows' first goal, they start the boo at the Gabba, but he kicks a goal. He's one of those young players that's starting to make his mark for the Adelaide Crows.
Well, there's a number of players who they've brought in, and you talk about, we just spoke about Ben Rutten. Of course, even Scotty Stevens, KB, who's kicked I think 7 goals in a game, in one game in AFL football, hasn't played a lot of senior football, so they've got a number of tall. Jericho, and you also just, as you said, Hayden Skipworth, but no doubt about the tackle there, and the free kick was there. Had prior opportunity there, Daniel Bradshaw.
So Skipworth with the first goal for the Crows. Good start this by Adelaide. Promising start. They're running the ball, sharing the ball coming out of defence. Sharman and Biglands. Biglands does it well over the top, but stolen by Black. He missed Lappin and somehow got it back. He gets the clearance. Rutten's in the best spot again. It dropped. Oh, that's a terrific mark. Just for a second, I thought he'd run underneath it, and he just corrected his run. Took a very strong mark. Good start from him. Riley looking for Biglands. Out muscles Ackermanis in the spoil. Carousella against Matner. Rashudo. Just a little give off to Goodwin. He goes back to Riley. And the old 1-2. Goodwin to McGregor. Rashudo runs past, and they're having trouble getting it out. And Sharman's stolen it. Good pressure, Tony, by the Lions.
Yeah, great pressure. The forward pressure, Carousella, Sharman, and just then Rashudo. I've never seen him really kick on his left foot in the league football, but if you're smart enough, you don't have to kick with your non-preferred. You keep getting on your preferred side of your body. And just good pressure then by the Brisbane Lions.
Laddams, the late inclusion for Scott Welsh on the bench. Biglands wins the knock again. Rashudo was bounding through. Ball ricochets back towards McDonald. Pike, a give on the up. Black, Ackermanis, they know where they are, don't they? Ackermanis knows where Simon Black is. And he likes to finish on the left boot, Ackermanis, and he missed that one. But there's a wonderful understanding between those premier midfielders.
Well, I heard Neil Craig last week talking about Rutten, saying that he's a good size kid and they need a big player at full-back, that Bassett's been too small back there.
The only one you could play on Lynch, I thought, was McGregor, because he's got a body just as big, but he's doing a good job.
Oh, he's a big boy, Rutten, and that was a very strong mark playing in front. So Neil Craig would be happy with that. Talk about McGregor, he's got the ball.
Gee, I thought that was really a mark too.
By Luke Power. And now say that Luke Power is part of the Fab Five.
Yes. Let's have a look. Oh, just the flick out of the... Oh!
Cop one high. Sharman.
Rhett Biglands has been in a bit of trouble this year, Rhett Biglands, a few times. He got caught for a forearm earlier in the year. I think 4 weeks for a forearm.
There's McGregor on screen. He's just leaving the field.
Yeah, blood room. Stevens to come on.
1-3-9, the Lions, the Crows, just that one straight goal, 6. So they trailed by just 3 points, and there's Jamie Charman just copping that one to the jaw. He's a strong player, Charman. Keating still to come back into the side. Darryl White, Brad Scott, and got a centre forward out too, haven't they? Jonathan Brown?
Yeah, he can play a bit, that bloke. I think that could be the best thing that ever happened to Jonathan Brown. You know, he works out hard all year. He has 4 weeks off coming up the finals. He'll be jumping out of his skin.
Might be like Fraser Garrick there last night. Shooting 8. Here's a chance. Notting. Ackermanis caught in the tackle. Chance for the Crows. Rashudo's had a fantastic season. Drills the ball in. Looking for Jericho. And he's super quick. Chris McDermott told us he ran at the Bay Sheffield gift over in South Australia, and he said he's probably nearly the quickest player on the Crows list.
Gee, it was a good grab, wasn't it? Because he just had to stutter his run up a little bit. Ball was higher than he wanted, really, Rashudo. when I say that, it was a strong mark because Bradshaw was really putting pressure on him. Good mark. There's the finish here because they've started well, Adelaide Crows. They've had a lot of the ball, especially around the back half and the middle of the ground, just sharing the ball.
Jericho from just inside 50 to put the Crows in front. Straight through the centre. Might have to be Blonde playing the forward line now with the Crows. They've got Bock down there. They've got Jericho down
Watts
and Fergus Watts.
That was a good mark, wasn't it? Very good mark on the lead, as I said. And just here, there, a couple of bit of lair-rising around by Ackermanis, then got caught in the midfield. And that might be looked at also, just a little bit of a stray elbow. But the turnover in Rashudo, that was a beautiful pass, but it did put him under pressure, and great mark by Jericho.
Crows in the lead for the first time. They lead 2 straight kicks to 1-3 the Lions. Jericho back in the side this week. 7th goal in his career. Bradshaw, his opponent this evening. Biglands is up against Dylan McLaren, who's now on the ground. Biglands wins it easy. He's looking for Stengline. Edwards gets there first. Rashudo picked up where he left off from last week, getting plenty of the ball. Bock coming through. Likewise Edwards. And Edwards will get a free kick. He was held and didn't have possession. So the ball's actually rolled through. Umpire is bringing it back. And by Kieran Nichols, who's in charge with Scott McLaren and Matt Stevich. So an opportunity for the Adelaide Crows.
Brett Biglands, he's an aggressive ruckman. He's now playing on Dylan McLaren because Charman's gone off. Well, it was with the blood rule, wasn't Charman also?
So Edwards, he's going to have to kick from outside 50. He's a terrific player.
He's just holding. You might as well hold it as long as you want now. Now you're taking up all the time until the umpire tells you to play on.
I reckon you've got to get this home.
You might as well wait. Kick from 55.
Yeah. Gets pretty close to the man on the mark. It's right towards the line. He just hooked it, getting that extra distance. He got there, so it's just behind. Brad McEwen down on the boundary.
Yeah, a little bit of blood down here on the boundary line. Jamie Charman, he's got a cotton in his nostrils. He caught one in the nose, and he also put his teeth through his bottom lip, so he's not so good. And McGregor, he's just gone up the race. Looks like they're going to go and stitch up his forehead, so it wasn't a great clash for either of them.
Keith Johnson does that well. He aims right, then he hooks the ball back across his body and always finds a target. This time it's Bradshaw to Black on centre wing. Already possession number 6 short to Martin Pike. Goal kicker last week. Dangerous forward, Martin Pike. Whenever Jonathan Brown's out, he always plays up forward. Always looking for Lynch with strength. Rutten did well. Good take by Gallagher. They'll share the ball around. Massey finds McLeod to Tyson Edwards. From defensive 50. Wobbles a kick forward. Looking for Jericho. Already a goal kick. And spears the ball in. Finds Stevens. From the centre of the ground. Goes wide. And Lepage with those safe hands backing back.
They get 50 there.
They've looked okay though, the Crows. They've worked the ball well. They've got a lot of young players. There's a lot of enthusiasm.
I'm quite surprised that Bradshaw hasn't started centre half forward for the Brisbane Lions. They've started Martin Pike across half forward.
But they generally do that when Brown's out. They play Pike as that medium-sized forward. He's kicked goals for him before.
He has done that, but I just thought Bradshaw, a big body and a person who's kicked a lot more goals than Martin Pike, would play there.
Lepage. This is where the Crows have got to be a lot better. McDonald goes short. Again, a poor kick. He was looking for Carousella. Needs a kind bounce. Now he needs support. Finds it from Power. Backtracks, conceded ground. He was looking for Johnson. Snapped up that time and hooked home by Copeland. It's a long, long kick and through for a behind.
Gee, Robert Copeland and Tim Notting. Sometimes you see the way that run, 6'3", super quick, and then they can kick the ball a mile when they get onto it.
3-point margin to the Adelaide Crows as Riley goes to the pocket to find Simon Goodwin. Chipping in turn to Gallagher. And they hug the boundary line, and they've done it well here, Adelaide. They've moved it all the way up to John Cock.
Mark Rashudo's the one. He has dominated. Simon Black's had 6 possessions. Luke Power's running with Rashudo at the moment. He's had 6 also.
Yeah. Gallagher. Lions get some numbers back as the Crows slow it down. And the kick is just going to fall short. Watts come over the top. Well roved though by Nathan Bott. Chipping. Looking up ahead for Skipworth. Johnson caught. Good tackle by Skipworth. Chance for Adelaide here. Jericho there, right with him, Mount Michael. Have a ball up 30 metres out from the Adelaide goal.
Well, they've got good matchups. There's Justin Leppich is down.
I'll tell you what happened there. Let's go down to Brad McEwen.
Yeah, you can see there on the video. Yeah, right in the back. And, gee, he's in a bad way right now, Justin Leppich. He might have just had the wind knocked out of him.
Still in the hands of the trainers, and that's about where the ball's about to head. Voss.
Gee, handballed over the trainers.
Yep.
This is dangerous, isn't it?
Stop here.
There's not a lot you can do unless they should have the stretcher on now.
Now, it's going to come off.
Well, this is wrong. It's out of bounds anyway, so it had to stop. But if that play was still going, the Crows really didn't want the play to stop. You know, they had to either bring a stretcher on to stop play, or he has to walk straight off, or be carried off. And that was a big knee in the back.
Sure was. Here's Rashudo trying to bust past Voss and can't do so.
Is that right, KB? Being on the rules
bring on the
committee?
stretcher.
Yeah, you should bring, and if it's not, that means the umpire cannot stop the play, although he'd probably tell them to clear away. Look at this. Oh, no one likes to do that. To go back, no one wants to be there, but you have to do it for your team. Great courage.
Neil Craig would have liked the fact that Fergus Watts there just jumped hard into Leppich, and he's a big tall kid, and they want him to have a crack at some of his big marks.
Well, Fergus Watts played a game for Vic Metro against South Australia in last year, and that was no doubt the game where he took 15 marks, I think it was, at centre-half forward. That's why he was drafted.
Ackermanis can't get past Matner. Black just searching with the handball. Gallagher did enough there to get it to Rashudo. Back to Bassett. High kick. Tough one to mark. Charman back on the ground. Stengline to Edwards. He's been busy. Gets through the traffic, kicks long, looking for Watts. Michael goes back. The big man couldn't take it. Jericho's there. Johnson sees it over the boundary line once again. And it's the Crows leading by 3 points early in this first term.
Some very good signs for the Crows. Not good signs there for the Brisbane Lions. They've got their matchups right. Edwards is picking up Voss. Tyson Stengline's on Black and Matner's on Ackermanis. So their three best tagging players have picked up the 3 stars. And, of course, Power is playing on Rashudo. Chance there for Stengline. Couldn't quite get the ball out. Hands and knees. Black hits his target. Taken away that time by Johnson. Didn't really hit a target as well, but not him. Just paddling the ball along in front with those terrific hands. Picked it up with one grab. But finally steps over the line for a boundary throw-in.
I don't know about you, if you can get the feel. I think the Lions are off their game. They've missed a lot of targets with their handball. They're not as sharp. And we talked about the emotional involvement when you're playing against a side who you think you should beat.
John Cock had it and lost it. Riley on hands and knees. Norwich, well, in fact, the Nationals rising star from last week. And there's Martin Pike and McGregor.
A couple of tough blokes there. And a free kick. Oh, look at that.
If you touch him in the face, above the shoulders, they'll give a free kick. They'll give a free kick. Anything above the shoulders. The umpires tell them that.
Yeah.
Here's Skipworth on centre wing. Inside 50. Mel Michael trying to get across. Does a great job. Lunges at the ball. Belts it back over the line.
Yeah, I understand it, KB. In the spirit of the game, it's just a show of strength. Like, he's grabbed him on the neck and just say, OK, mate, that's enough. You know, you penalise the side a hell of a lot. If they punch him in the face or slapped his face, yeah, give him a free kick.
Charman against Clark. Johnson, just a roll of the shoulders. Sets it up from the back pocket to Voss. Goes short. Finds Copeland. Just caught in 2 minds. Now the runners come. Lappin. Favourite for the Brownlow medal. Penetrating kick to the goal square. Leach getting back. 2 against 1. Good effort by Bassett.
Well done.
Helping out Rutten and forces it through from behind.
Well, this is where they've started their football from. And it looks... Look, here's a free kick here. There's Martin Pike, McGregor having a go. Show of strength. Bump each other. They missed. And missed. That wasn't the free kick, of course.
Big pack of players. Stengline was in front. Matner's got the job on Ackermanis. Taken away by Matner. Finds Skipworth. Wants to draw an opponent. Does well. Bradshaw caught out of position. Box going to run to 50. Closes to 45. Can't bend it back. And a wasted opportunity puts it through for a behind.
I think Lee Matthews, I would love to be in the huddle with Lee Matthews at quarter time. His midfielders are all just running forward. We know they do it when they're in control. But, gee, they've got to put some defensive thought process into the Crows when they get the ball. He would not be happy with the defensive side of their game.
Well, Neil Craig spoke about the Lions being predictable in their game, and they're getting the numbers back to Alistair Lynch. They're all flooding to there, and then they're running it out. So they know that that's where the Lions are headed, and they're playing some disciplined football at the moment. The Crows, this is Power, goes wide, hard running from Lappin. Got to beat a couple though. Edwards, he's got no support, he has to go back through the middle, and Akamanis or Voss, who chips it back to Power in the middle. Out wide, Carousella's on his own, and good vision from Power. And I guess that was just a change-up from the predictability, wasn't it? Instead of heading to Lynch, found another option, and Carosella is a very reliable kick. The set shot from 50 metres should be well within his range.
Well, Simon Goodwin started on Carousel. It looks like he's pushed into the midfield, and Mattner then, I think there would have been a swap over, so it might be hard on Mattner saying that it was his man, but Carousel, gee, loves. That's one thing he's done his whole career, knowing how to play the angles and find space inside forward 50.
8 goals, 8 for the season. Lining up for number 9. He's inside 50. He's hooked it. And another behind to the Brisbane Lions. 1-6 now. Adelaide lead by 2 points. So 7 scoring shots to 4.
Yeah, they've had a couple of rush though. I don't think in general play, and KB, you might be seeing it differently. I think their half-back line's held up well. The Crows, their defence has, and they're getting a fair bit of the ball.
No, I think it's a good start by the Crows. Neil Craig would be happy. McGregor
almost
just on the stretch, couldn't hold it. Pike pushes off his opponent with strength. Back to Copeland. High ball back towards centre half forward. Running with the ball was Gallagher. Standing his ground was Carousel.
He had to wait, didn't he? He's just standing there looking up at it.
And just for the viewers, look, no footballer wants to be where Blake Carousel just in his football. You know, you're scared. You don't know what's coming. But I always say that the 10 seconds of pain that you might get is a lot better than a lifetime of embarrassment if you don't go. That's the way I look at it.
And he's just seen Justin Lempich go off.
Yeah.
Carosella directly in front from 48 metres. Leans back, likes it, kicks a goal.
And he's coming straight off the ground. That's what happens when you kick a goal.
Well, you've got to come straight off the ground, Tony, because you get exhausted kicking the ball from 48 metres. You go off and have a rest.
No, look, I think that would have already been done prior to the game. But look at this. Martin Pike just got his fist to it, and now it wasn't the greatest kick, but here you are. You're standing, oh no, please, I don't want to be here, but I'm going to do it for my team. Great courage, Blake Carosella. I would say that the coach would be on the phone to him right now saying, well done.
Lions
probably hopes that he missed.
Lions are back in front. Carousella's got 1 goal, 1 so far. He's just having a drink and a bit of a wonder. 4-point margin. McLaren and Clark. Very inventive there. Big punch from Copeland. He's been watching Lepich and Michael for a couple of years now. Nodding. Got it back to Voss. That's an excellent smother. McLeod, yeah. Copeland's gone. Good work here by Adelaide. The tackle from Stengline has released McLeod. He breaks through the middle of the ground, goes long. Jericho's got the sit. Beautiful kick, and he spilt it. Made position. Should have wrapped it up. Chris Scott clears. Copeland's had a very good first quarter. And here's the turnaround, Tony. The rebound. Akamanis gets it from Black. Short pass. Good defensive work by Bassett, though. McGregor kicks up the line, and here it goes again. Adelaide's turn. Prosciutto to McLeod. He's got enough pace to get past McLaren. Poor kick though. Chris Scott under some pressure. The give to McDonald, to McGrath, nodding. Let it go for McGrath. Forgot to get the footy. Now he's got it. Can't beat the tackle from Jericho. And up and down the ground we went for a few minutes.
I think the Lions, they are off the boil. I've never seen them miss so many handball targets. And there's Jericho. Oh, I had to mark that ball.
Maybe try to take it a bit too
on the side, wasn't it?
Matty Clark's mystified there. He had no idea what that was for.
It's all about second and third efforts. That was McDonald to Black. Goes short. Didn't really hit a target. Chance for Lynch. The Lions just keep forcing the ball forward. Paddling the ball along in front. Here's a chance. McDonald kicks a goal.
Well, as you said, KB, keeping the momentum of the ball forward in your forward line is so important. A lot of teams and sides are on the bottom of the ladder or close to the bottom, try and just pull the ball in. They don't want to keep the ball moving, being involved. You can see Simon Black handballing, and Simon Black's had 12 possessions. But look, just great momentum of the ball, keeping it going forward. That means that the defenders are always unaware of which direction the ball's going. Well done by McDonald.
John McDonald gets the Lions third for the evening, and just playing in game number 8, his first goal in AFL footy. 3-6 to 2-2. Prosciutto almost went without it.
Free kick. Gee, I've got to look at some of these ruck contests, because today some of the ruckmen do not even watch the ball. I think you have to penalise them a lot quicker, so that they don't just put their knees in the opposition ruckman and take their eye off the ball.
Johncock takes the free and heads long. It's an open forward line. What's the target? Michael over the back to spoil. Power diving to the ground. Threw it up in the air. Well done by Jericho. Kept it alive. Just forced it forward. Simon Black brought his own footy tonight. That's not his best kick. Set up Notting. McLaren went without it. Copeland cleaning up. McDonald will run onto it. Gets the voice from Lappin. He cuts back through the middle. He's got 2 players. They both started on the bench. Hadley takes it. Lynch on the lead.
Can't stop that.
Lynch likes to get on with it quickly from his outside 50. He won't make the distance. Right to the line. Free kick. Umpire right on the spot. How did you see that, Tony?
Well, I think he's trying to say that Bassett did not have eyes for the ball and just pushed the man when the ball went over his head. So if he was looking at the man in the contest, why wasn't he looking at the ball trying to mark it? Jamie Charman, he's got more tape and cotton wool up his nose.
That's a perfect view of what faces Jamie Charman.
Yeah, he's just got to be smart. Take your time, a couple of steps inside and across your body. Take your time. Inside. Oh, the umpire's telling the 2 players close to the mark. Just come out sideways. Come out sideways. There it is. Oh, it's muddled.
It's never going to work. Nodding.
Why is that? A ruckman?
It's a ruckman.
I thought you were thinking that way, Matty. What happened was he was trying to think how I'm going to do it, instead of didn't worry about who was on the mark.
He was worried about Prosciutto on the side.
Lions by 10 points, 3-6-24. The Crows 2-2-14. So a chance for the Lions. Very dangerous around stoppages. Tyson Edwards bounces away back with the ball. Hammers it back. Taken away that time by McLaren. Didn't quite find his target. McLaren take 2 with McDonald to Black. Somehow weaves his way out of trouble. Hits a target. Notting, caught in the tackle, caught high was McLaren. And take the free kick.
Good call, KB. Simon Black. Someone from the Crows has to go to Simon Black. He's had 13 possessions in this quarter.
They always like to bomb it long. They've got Charman and Lynch. Lynch tried to slap the ball on. McRae is dangerous. Gallagher. First to the scene, Bassett. To Gallagher, so just sharing the ball around, squeezed right up on the boundary line, and Martin Pike's going to dump McGregor. That's a boundary throw-in. Just 25 metres around from the Lions' goal. There's Martin Pike, 4-time premiership player. McGregor pushed out of the contest. Bassett tied up by 3 Brisbane Lions. And finally Lappin comes out with the ball, and it's a ball up.
Just have a look. They're having a look at the midfield for Brisbane Lions. They've done a fair job on Lappin and Ackermanis. 4 possessions to Ackermanis, 3 to Lappin. But, gee, someone has to go to Simon Black. As Matty said, he's had his own ball.
Prosciutto was held by Hadley and takes the free kick. We saw Michael Boston with a tape. Some people thought he had earrings on a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? But they take a bit of blood out of their earlobe. Just cover it up with a little bit of tape just to see how they're travelling. Chance for Bradshaw. Got an ugly bounce. Bock did well. to Matner. He's got the job playing on Ackermanis. High ball. Fergus Watts stands his ground, thumped away. You've got to get to the front of the pack because the Brisbane Lions are the best in the business. McLaren. Back to Hadley. They'll thump the ball every time. Chance for Charman. They'll pile on top, and we've got a ball up.
Holding the ball.
Square.
You could see the umpire. Yeah, he was positioning himself to see once Charman pulled that ball in, and he never got it out, he was going to play holding the ball. And there's that cotton wool we were talking about. Not a great look, is it?
It's a nice look.
Wonder if we wear it out to the nightclub tonight after the game.
Stengline on centre wing. Fergus Watts says, kick it high. Mel Michael will go bang with the big fist. Ground level. Black has read it so well. 14 possessions to Simon Black. 5 kicks and 9 handballs. A scintillating opening turn by the champion centreman and Brownlow medalist. And at quarter time, it's a 10-point lead to the Brisbane Lions. 3-6-24. The Crows are 2-2-14. And Simon Black is on target for a record number of possessions.
Today, Port Adelaide Power will have a traditional Amy Stadium welcome for the West Coast Eagles, who simply have to win to stay alive. Port Adelaide West Coast Eagles today on Fox Footy Channel.
Read all about the incredible deals in Harvey Norman's latest electrical catalogue. Start your family movie archive now with a JVC digital video camera. Just $8.99 including a bonus bag and tripod. Small, sexy and Sony good. This mini DV Handycam has MS Duo and is available in silver, green or blue for $11.99. And get a megapixel boost of picture quality with this full-featured Canon compact digital video camera, $14.99. More incredible deals than the 40-page catalogue out now.
To deserve the title the ultimate crossover, a vehicle would have to have plenty of power for on- and off-road performance, an ingenious third-row seat that folds flat into the floor, plenty of space with seating for 7, and be built by the experts in four-wheel drives. Only question is, what would it look like? The Toyota Kluger, the original and still the ultimate crossover. Where you take it is up to you.
Join us on Wednesday night. The man was simply known as the Flying Dutchman. Benny Blankets Cohen. No, Paul Berner. Plus the man who kicked 5 goals on debut for Collingwood. It has to be Ricky Barron from Hamilton.
Grumpy Old Man, this Wednesday on Fox Footy Channel.
We're set to go for the second quarter. The Lions have won the last 4 games against the Adelaide Crows and all 8 games at the Gabba this season as Gallagher doesn't get it far enough. Charman lays it off to Ackermanis. He's away. He could just about get this home. Loves the kick on the left from outside 50. Hasn't started celebrating because he's hooked it too fast. Play on. Knocked back into play. Alistair Lynch, and Tim Notting takes it over and they can set up.
See, I know you say he kicks just as far on his left foot, Matty. I think he could have straightened up on his right.
Yeah.
I just think at the moment the Brisbane Lions, I said they were off the boil, a little bit showy. I don't know whether Lee Matthews would have been happy at quarter time.
There's a whistle.
And the umpire said to the boundary umpire, throw it in again.
Well, that doesn't happen very often.
He's overruled him saying it wasn't good enough. I like that. That is well done by
common sense, isn't
it?
it?
Scott McLaren.
Now he's under pressure. Oh, he gets it away beautifully. Lynch. Rashudo. Charged down by Hadley. Picked up by Voss. Another behind. 3-7 to 2-2. Margin 11 points.
Great decision by the umpire. Common sense. There's the boundary umpire on the throw. Oh, yeah, you want to go do a few more weights.
Just come out the back of the hand. He was trying to the doozra.
To get the resin going.
Riley brings the ball back into play for the Crows. Biglan's in front. Boss made it a contest. Black, another possession to Lappin, to Power. All part of the Fab 5. Out in front was Lynch. Couldn't take it. Massey be happy to take it over the line. Squeeze and keeps it alive. Handballs into the back of Goodwin. That was a look-away handball. Toss back in.
Just then Alistair Lynch going for the mark, and we can hear Chris Massey, Simon Goodwin. Yes, I'm going to do the look-away handball, but you need the other person looking at you when you do the look-away handball.
Gee, the boundary throw-in wasn't...
It's a bit short again.
That good. We may have only given that one a 7.5 as well. There's Massey, just
got a shiner,
glaring back. Just 25 metres around from the Lions' goal. Doing the ruck work was Charman, got shoved out of the contest. Tyson Edwards taken down by Hadley. They'll pile on top. You've got to get rid of the ball. You've got to keep it moving. The umpires are very much aware of players dragging the ball in. The Crows, Rutten hammers the ball back, running with the flow of the ball. Here's Lappin. He plays across half back for the first half.
And then goes in the middle of the ground.
Into the centre.
It's a smart move, isn't it? Because the tagger has to play as a half forward and maybe a negating half forward until they do move him in the centre.
2 tools up forward. Now, Lynch had just moved back, and he's looking downfield because he was in that position, then went back to the goal square, and the ball dropping short where he was.
Chris Massey should have marked that ball. He's punched it, what they call referred pressure, but maybe his teammates didn't talk to him well enough on that occasion.
Lions by 11 points. McDonald, already a goal kicker. Voss, centering kick, one-on-one. Big pack of players again over the top. Here's a chance. McLeod did some very heavy body work and finally forces it back over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Well, it's been in Brisbane's half for the first 5 or 6 minutes of this quarter. We talk about inside 50s. It was 15 all, and it's now 18-16,
So they've worked it to 25 metres on the other side of the goals for the Brisbane Lions. They're just keeping it in the danger zone. And again, a ball up.
It's pretty ugly at the minute. It's not
pretty.
Fabulous skills at the minute.
I think Neil Craig would want it that way.
Yep. So once again, it'll be Biglands up against Charman. Through the traffic. Voss has got it. Will he finish this time? He will. It was a clever handball. I think it came from Tim Notting through the traffic. And Voss, who missed one earlier in the quarter, finishes off with his first for the evening.
Well, they just opened the back of the pack up, didn't they? And the ruck work, it's been in the forward 50, as I just said, for most of this quarter. Biglands there, just straight down Tim Notting, worked it through, and there's Voss. He won't miss many of them. I know still that was 30 yards out, so it's a hard shot. But, gee, that was just perseverance of keeping it in their forward 50 for most of the quarter.
31 plays 14, the Lions by 17 points. But, Tony, don't you think at ball-ups and boundary throw-ins, when you're playing a side like the Lions, and you've got guys like Voss and Ackermanis and Black and Power, you've got to man up on them.
Yeah, they do, but they push you off.
You can't play the ball on its merits under those conditions because they're the best in the business. It's the danger zone. They'll make something out of nothing. Hadley wobbles the ball back. Notting thought he had it. Here's Black, pops one in the back from Massey.
And he's going to get a free kick. Now, Simon Black is playing across half forward as a roving, he played in the middle of the ground in the first quarter, and he's now up to 16 possessions. He looks like he's going to kick a goal, and he's kicked, this could be his second goal. Now you've got to think about what's happening with the other tags. Do you take someone off, maybe an Ackermanis, take it off the Power and put it on the Black?
Well, he was a star last week against the Pies as well. He's in hot form. Simon Black does not miss. Two goals to the Brownlow medalist.
Well, I think you've got to make a change. Someone has to go to Black, and even the tell him, don't he? As he moves out the half forward, we can see the free kick here. Massey just too high with the tackle. Soft free kick in a way. You've got to be better. You have to be better than that as a defender.
He's swapped with Hadley. Hadley's gone into the middle, and Black's gone to the flank.
But Black would do most of it, still around the ball.
The rising star, Riley, on the star, Black. So far, he's the star of the night with 13 disposals and 2 goals. Margin all of a sudden is 23 points. Biglands and Charman, they both miss it. Here's Hadley. Stole it. Running forward was Power. The handball was pretty intelligent. Now, Power, that may not go 15 metres. Well, I'd like to know it was about 12. Voss to Lappin. So the Stars combine here at the Gabba. Power to Voss to Lappin. And Lappin came up a half-back flank there.
Now, if this was Jason Ackermanis, do you think he'd kick it on his left? He'll have a shot from his left from there?
No, if he was on the run, he would, but not from a set shot.
Not from a set shot. Now, Nigel Lappin hasn't been deadly in front of goal this year. 11-13. He's missed a few. Now he's decided to have a shot, or he's still not sure. 30 metres, tight angle. Wrong side of the post, behind for Lappin. Margin out to 4 goals.
Gee, they've got to get a winner of the Crows in the middle of the ground. They just need someone to stand up for 5 minutes so they can get the ball into their forward 50.
Well, Risciuto's had it 11 times. McLeod's had it 7 along with Tyson Edwards. Stengline 6, but they just haven't been damaging, have they? McGregor, that strong mark in front of Martin Pike. To Edwards, trying to set it up cross half back to Biglands. Big and strong. Matthew Clark on the interchange bench. Goes wide to Riley. He's got the job now, of course.
Have a shot.
Playing on
Goodwin.
Black. Goodwin. To John Cock.
Oh, well done.
So if you move the ball quickly into the forward line against any opposition, always put the defence under a lot of pressure. And John Cock is a very smart player.
Ashley McGrath is playing on John Cock. Graham got John Cock tonight, and he just used his body beautifully. He kept one hand out, and Ashley McGrath just couldn't keep his feet, and he pushed him off the line. That was good ball movement from the Crows. Had to take some risks in the midfield. Use your ruckman up like Biglands on that occasion. They need a conduit between the middle of the ground and their forward line because, as I said, the Brisbane Lions have dominated the quarter.
He's kicked 20 goals for the season. Should be 21. Pops it through. They trail by 18 points.
Just having a look where Andrew McLeod's playing tonight. He's normally coming out of the back half and then going on ball. I think, gee, you've got to keep him, and he's now pushed forward, but he was starting off half back, and there you can see just Graham John Cock just read the play better. Quick kick forward just shows one-on-one KB. If you get it to your teammate one-on-one and have confidence in them, they can do the job most of the time. A lot of sides in the AFL now just playing possession football.
As Kevin mentioned, Graham Johncock with goal number 21 for the season. He's the leading goal scorer that's out there this evening for the Crows, with Welsh pulling out. Ackermanis coming off the line, gets the clearance, high ball, tough one to mark, going back. Riley did well. McGregor throws it on the boot. Edwards. They're away here, Adelaide once again. Edwards has got a pretty open forward 50. He's still going. He's inside 50. He sets sail for home and hooks it left. Deserved better. Finished the game off excellently last week against the Dockers.
Tyson Edwards, he's been a great servant of the club, hasn't he? He's a great player.
Terrific
He can play everywhere. He plays it. He's done that, and there's young Riscatelli. Fantastic to see the youngster playing his first game, getting his first run.
And he's up against a fair player too, isn't he? With Simon Goodwin standing next to him. Johnson heads towards the pocket. Adelaide have the numbers. Matner, long ball. Johnson goes back. It's a behind. So Adelaide have got into gear in the second term, now doing some of the attacking.
Chris Johnson, the way he kicks out, you're right, Kevin, he looks like he's going to go up the corridor and then he just twists his leg, and what he tries to do, he kicks a lot of the ball where the 50-yard goes into the boundary line, right in that corner, because the zone players can't. Have a look at this. The zone players can't get there.
Perfect kick to Charman.
Just shows you exactly how he does it.
Nice call, Tony. Charman hasn't got any tall timber to kick to here. Voss, and well done by Stengline.
He gets a bit too close to the man on the mark, Jamie Jarman, when he's kicking the ball. He's got to get back further from the mark. We saw it in the first quarter when he missed the goal, when he tried to run around. And even then, if Biglands had have really concentrated on the mark, I reckon he would have smothered that ball off the boot. Chance for Lappins.
Free kick to Biglands.
They're bringing it back.
I'd like to see Rhett Biglands push forward on Jamie Charman. I think Jamie loses players in a bit of congestion, and Biglands can take a big mark.
He's on centre wing.
He's a thumping kick normally too if he doesn't short pass it.
Lions by 16 points, 38 plays, 22 to the half forward line. Looking for Watts in front, again on the stretch, couldn't take it. Jericho tries to break the tackle. Watts, clever handball to Tyson Edwards. The man with the dancing feet. Skipworth spears the ball in.
Good
looking for Stevens. Is that Bock? Bock's got it.
Go back, son. Have a shot on goal. Graham Johncock just there on the right-hand side of the screen saying, just settle down. We need a goal here to get us back in the game. And that's what you're in the side for. It's amazing how many times, good pass here, just perfectly weighted. How many times forwards get the ball, KB, and they think, I'll try and short pass this and invent something and turn it over and goes the other end, and the opposition kicks a goal.
Well, Bock was very lively last week against Fremantle, particularly in the first half. This to lift his confidence. From 45 metres out, he's pushed it left. And through for a minor score.
Tough pocket, that one, for some reason, here at the Gabba. Tough to kick.
Neil Craig looking on, would have liked that one to be slotted through. In fact, I like Watts playing in front, and he's got quite a leap, and he's a big boy. We saw it last week as well, didn't we, Matty?
Yep.
Gets his hands on the ball, just hasn't quite got that strength or just the concentration to really put the hands strongly, the perches on the Sharon. But he does get his hands up, so once he starts taking some grabs in front, maybe the confidence will come as well.
Oh, here we go.
There's a chance for Ackermanis. Pounces on the ball, edge of the centre square. Bang! Hits Lynch on the chest. Well, super quick.
Ashley McGrath from full-back. Voss is in the middle of the square, and he has just belted the ball down the middle. Stingline and Voss went for the contest, and it just pushed over the back. Ackermanis, he just knows the ball. He knows his teammates is going to keep the ball going towards their goal, and they can just keep running forward.
Lynch in game number 301.
He was close to the mark.
Very close to the mark, and that's why he's pulled that kick to the right. Had to lift the knee to try and get the ball over. The man standing on the mark, and has missed.
5-9 to 3-5. Lee Matthews would be pretty concerned. Untidy finish there from Lynch. Copeland was knocking it forward and going through Massey. Rashudo's running hard, and he's got it. The captain is away. A beautiful kick from Rashudo. A real good chance here for Jericho to make Lynch pay. Quick transfer by the Crows. Mark Rashudo now with 12 disposals.
Well, as good as the Lions were from full back, they just did the same thing. Carbon copy. And Jericho, fantastic kick by Rashudo from the wing to look back in the corridor.
Jericho has one, looking for his second. It's pretty good.
Beautiful kick.
Straight through. He's got two.
Well, he looks a player, Jericho. I've seen him a couple of times playing at Amy Stadium. He's super quick. He leads well. And he's a good size.
And he can kick the ball.
And he can kick the ball, which is most important if you want to play on the forward line.
Look at the kick.
I'm not quite certain whether anyone's had a better season than Rashudo. In the games I've seen this year with the Adelaide Crows, he's been outstanding, Rashudo.
Another Brownlow.
He could.
Look at the conversion. Fantastic kick.
The Crows are within 10 points. 5-9-39 the Lions. Adelaide 4-5-29. That man on screen has booted 2 goals. Jericho. Clark playing against his old side. Best and fairest winner with Brisbane, Matthew Clark. Neither ruckman could actually get a hand on the ball. You're right, Tony. They look at each other, and by the time the ball is coming down, before they even put focus on it. Black wants a free kick. Umpires are tough. If you're over the ball, you've got to knock it out or make some attempt.
I've been on this for a long time, KB. I love this rule if they play it the right way and interpret the right way.
Black. Quick as a flash, he was looking for Lynch. Bang. Here's a chance. Sellers kicked the goal, but Lynch has got into the back of McGregor or Massey. It's Massey. He hit the pack hard. I think umpire Scott McLaren,
a lot of courage,
probably thought it wasn't a realistic attempt to take the mark. Tyson Edwards read that ball well against Ackermanis. Got good support from McLeod, gave him extra space, kicks the ball down. Again, looking for Watts. Good tackle. Great tackle by Rashudo on Johnson. Not too many people can bring down Chris Johnson. Rashudo did. Some good signs for the Crows. We've played 16 minutes in this second term.
And just there, Alistair Lynch, not at the contest, just took Massey out.
Not a realistic attempt. Hadley slapped it down, looking for McGrath. Skipworth drags the ball in. Line fans want a free.
They've just pressured enough, haven't they, to make the Brisbane Lions miss their target with their hands, where normally they're so smooth. Just, making their mark on the game here as Clark and that go at it. Clark and Dylan McLaren.
Ackermanis was quick, worked his way in. Right on the boundary line, still good enough to hit a target to Johnson. That was wild. And Shirley takes it over the line. 18 possessions to Simon Black, 8 kicks and 10 handballs. The next best is Voss with 10 and 12 to Rashudo.
Let's go to Brent McEwen.
Yeah, thanks, matey. Gee, I was talking to Jason Ackermanis during the week. He was so disappointed with his performance last week against Collingwood. He could not wait for this game to get underway and get out and get him home slip.
Thanks, Brad. And that was a clever mark from Hadley. It was a 10-point margin at quarter time, and it's still 10 points after 2 goals to the Lions and then 2 answering goals to the Crows. And here's the man that Brad was just speaking about, Ackermanis, for disposal number 9. Wide to Chris Scott. Chipping further up to the wing to McDonald. Going longer, Pike the target. Goodwin did well. McGregor or Massey, they can share it. Back to John Cock. Power. Missed the tackle. John Cock measures the kick and misses his target. Ackermanis hoping someone was there, and it was Notting. Notting wants Carosella. Got him. Well, he's had to back into the path again, Carosella. He's taken another mark, not knowing what was coming.
Well, Graham Johncock, he'd be disappointed. If you want to turn the ball over from half back against this side, you will pay the price. He came out of defence and missed his target, and then Tim Notting just mopped up. And again, there it is, Blake Carosella. Head up, not knowing what's coming from behind.
The voice from Voss, I think, there, is saying, you're right, you've got it.
You want to hear it early.
Good luck. So Carosella, he's kicked a goal.
The other worst call is yours.
Relatively straightforward kick, straight in front from 35 metres. Makes no mistake, gets his second. The Lions back to a 16-point lead. Blake Carosella with 2, Simon Black with 2. Alistair Lynch hasn't kicked a goal yet.
Amazingly, no, he hasn't. And Bradshaw's been playing in defence most of the night, so their goals have come from their midfield. And Blake Carosella's played across half board, but can play as a ruck rover. McDonald's kicked a goal, Voss has kicked a goal, Black's kicked 2. Again, I say, I think the Crows are just pressured enough in this game to make it an ugly contest, and that's what Neil Craig would have wanted.
Carosella with 2 goals. He's a goal kicker. He's kicked 178 goals in 152 games. So if you can kick more than a goal a game, makes you a pretty dangerous player. Chance for Notting. Had it, lost it, good enough to recover. Dangerous if they can get the ball quickly inside 50. Bassett's got the back, but there was the push out. And it goes to Alistair Lynch against Rutten.
Well, the umpire just said both players went under the ball, but Rutten had a hand in the back, and as Lynch is in the air, you only need a small shove, and there it is. You can't do that. They used to play it a lot more in the old days, KB. Players get away with it now, but when you're in the air, it's easy to push her off the line.
Looks like they've tightened up over the last couple of weeks. Alistair Lynch hammers it home.
Spoke too soon, Tony, about Lynch not getting a goal.
Well, Ben Rutten's done a fairly good job, a very good job, matter of fact, because, early in some of the parts of the first quarter and early in the second quarter, the Lions had just dominated play, and they had it in their forward 50, and Lynch, that was his first goal. Tim Notting's had an impact too in the last 10 minutes of this quarter. Just his long kicking, and you cannot do that, Ben Rutten's. I know what he was trying to achieve, but any time a player's in the air, it's going to come off and it's going to look worse than what it really is.
So Lynch gets his first for the evening, and the Lions get a bit of breathing space. So they've kicked 2, Crows have kicked 2, and then the Lions have returned with 2 more. Michael Voss taking his time on the bench. 7-9 to 4-5, and Clark up early, and got another infringement. And
well,
he's been calling for that all night, haven't
I have, because both these players, every ruckman on the ground has been doing it. Clark did not even look at the ball.
Bradshaw gone forward. Pike might have gone to a wing. Pikey, I think he might have said something there. He's an angry man at times. Heads to the top of the square. Big pack of players. Over the back, Riley did well to Goodwin, shares it with McLeod. And the Norm Smith medalist is away. Missed his target, but Edwards is equal to it.
Oh, great
Slipped
run.
it beautifully to McLeod. Here he goes, running down the wing, gets a Shepherd, hooks it back into the middle. Lions have the numbers though, and Hadley takes the mark, gives it off to Black, who's been quiet since that burst in the first term. Scott goes up the middle. Ackermanis quickly turns and heads in the direction of Notting. It's good foot skills. Notting, well, he's around. He'll have a shot from 60 or head to the goal square. He wants Lynch. Again, Adelaide get the numbers back. Bassett spills it, but recovers. And there's a whistle and an advantage will be played, and Adelaide are away.
Goodwin looking for Riley. Now hesitated.
No, what happened? The umpire played advantage, and he was waiting Riley for the whistle for the play to stop. He looked back, and that's why he dropped the ball. So the umpire, very good umpiring again by Scott McLaren, has said, okay.
No advantage.
He thought it had stopped down play, so that's why it went back.
So Riley, you can see here.
So look, he just
looking up.
Yeah, look behind play. Good decision. Good to see the umpires, on top of their game, KB.
McGregor, one of the most improved players for the Crows. Again, looking for Fergus Watts, plays in front, still just can't quite hang on to the ball. Lappin goes to ground. Skipworth was a tackler, closed very quickly. Power was fantastic, gives it across to Johnson. Ackermanis has come alive, spears the ball in. What a kick!
Yeah.
Finds Notting, and on the rebound, the Lions are so quick. You've got to be on top of your game to run with them, and you've got to push back hard. And McRae, short passes, got it.
You just cannot take your foot off the pedal with the pressure, because I think the Crows have done a great job coming to the 20-minute mark of this quarter, and now in the last 3 or 5 minutes, they have just gone twice. What a beautiful kick by Jason Ackermanis. Low, hard, and direct.
And McRae stands on 50.
Missed it.
He'd be disappointed. Lions by 23 points. Neil Craig.
Has he gone grey?
Looking
He's
on.
got the job?
Yes, I think he has. I think he has. No, I think he has.
4 weeks. Overnight.
No, he has. He's gone grey. McLeod finds Skipworth. He's done well, Skipworth.
Yes,
He looks like a young player with a fair amount of ability. There's a bit of talent in this Adelaide Crows side, up against one of the best sides ever. Matner goes to ground. They'll fall on top, and we've got a ball up.
Let's just hope Neil Craig doesn't feel the pressure like you did, KB, that it went the other way. It just fell out.
No,
that's
it
all right.
went blue.
Went blue.
Blew away.
It flew away.
I'm stealing your lines there.
Oh, gee, there's shockers. You wouldn't want to be stealing that line.
Hang on, you've come up with risky telly.
I thought it was great.
Crows are 4-5-29. They trail by 23 points. Risciuto again playing a lone hand. That's possession number 13. Back to Goodwin. Circled by Brisbane players. Gallagher finds the run of Bassett. Down from the back pocket. Spears the ball in. Mel Michael. That trusty fist gets a hand with the ball. Chance for Jericho. Squeezed up on the line. Taken over. He's kicked a couple of goals though, Jericho.
Bradshaw started on Jericho.
Now he's got Scott.
Chris Scott.
Boundary throwing right on 50. Played just over 25 minutes in this second term. Pushed out under the ball that time was McLaren. Risciuto hurries the kick. John Cock needed a kind bounce, got an ugly one. Coming through hard that time was Bock. Jericho beaten by Mel Michael in game number 150. Back to Scott, kicks a high ball. It's a good kick. And McDonald runs on and takes an easy chest mark. To Notting. Across half-back.
Just see how they look inside. Tim Notting here is looking inside to see if he switches. If he won't, he will then, there's a switch on. That's what they try and do. Lee Matthews, the way that he coaches, and play on again. That is just beautiful football in the corridor.
Finds Copeland. It came from Johnson. They always kick long inside 50, and why not? Because Lynch is there. The Man Mountain, too big, too tall, too big, too strong, too good.
Well, it wasn't Rutten's fault really, KB, the way that ball was moved. But you just see it. Notting looks inside. They think, okay, if I can kick to someone who can play on, they'll do it. Otherwise, I'll kick long down the line. And there's Copeland. Wasn't a great kick, but just in front. I don't think any fullback can stop that when they move the ball that quickly.
No, it's a nightmare. Lynch will just pop this through, just 25 metres out. He likes it. Gives himself a clap. How come we don't see the Brisbane Lions fiddling around with the ball around the 50-metre mark and sharing the ball around and chipping the ball around? How come they always go bang and kick it to the goal square?
Well, there's really two words. Lee Matthews. He's always coached the same, and look, having played under him at Collingwood, as I said, And look, if the player can't play on in the corridor once they switch, they won't kick the ball to him. They will kick the ball long down the line, and then it's everybody front and centre, KB.
Lynch has 2, and the Lions have doubled the Crows' score at the moment. All of a sudden, the margin is 29 points, heading towards half-time. McLaren with Clark. McLaren, power. Prosciutto trying to barge his way through as normal. Somehow that ball's come out of the pack. McLeod caught, thrown to the ground. He'll get a free kick because he's holding on. Good decision again.
Just trying to see.
Wasn't necessary. Here they go, Adelaide. They're away, but the ball's got to come back.
Andrew McLeod looks like he was playing in the back pocket then. Gee, you've got to change that matchup to get this player, as skilled as he is, you've got to get him on the ball. Or even small forward, back pocket, you're just wasting his talents, I think.
Edwards can go further afield. He wants Bassett.
Well done, Copeland.
Went back. Goodwin didn't take it. Nodding tries to get around Bassett. Kept his arms free well, didn't he? Lappin heading towards Lynch. It's a tumbling kick. McLeod reads it the best. Switches to the outer side. He's got McGregor. Further afield is Matner. He just tells him to keep going.
There's no one to kick
it to. Now Bock arrives on a long lead. The spoil came from Pike. Carosella gives it to that man. Looks up, sees a man standing all on his own inside the 450, and it's John McDonald, who's kicked his first goal in AFL football in the first quarter.
Well, Graham Johncock came out of half-back and turned the ball over, and that time Ken McGregor just kicked the ball to a one-on-one contest. You've got to keep possession out of there and then try and use the bigger part of the ground, which is in the centre corridor, to get the ball forward. And on the rebound, Pike just saw his man. Good vision. Lovely kick.
There's McGregor getting back. McDonald for number 2. That's not even close. So the Lions have missed a few opportunities, but they have a pretty comfortable lead at the moment. 5 straight goals.
They just turn it on. They're a side who just turns the tap on, don't they? Like the first 10 minutes of the quarter, dominant. Crows come back in. You think, gee, this is going to be a good game at half time. They've tightened it up, and then they just put to the pedal again.
Less than a minute in this second term. We played 29.5 minutes in the second quarter. McGregor to Tyson Edwards. To McLeod, who certainly has been playing across half-back and in the back pocket for a lot of the second term. Here's Risciuto as the time clock ticks away. Too far out to score Risciuto. It would take one mighty kick.
They need a goal, don't they? Just need a goal before half-time.
Edwards. They backtrack.
Now this is where the Lions...
Sidetrack.
If this wasn't on the Lions, it'd bomb it to the top of the square with Alistair Lynch and then everybody front and centre. They're going to run out of time here where they need a goal.
It's a countdown. It's Houston calling. Goes wide. Here's Riley, who's come down from half-back. The timing is perfect. He has
set play.
He has marked a nanosecond before the siren.
I think they heard the siren too on that occasion.
Just look over there. He's taking the finger off the button.
It would take a very good kick. You'll have to kick from 55 to pop it through. And generally from this side of the ground, you've got to kick to the right-hand goalpost for the ball to drift back.
Yes, no, or maybe.
So Riley, the young boy from Gisborne, has only kicked 1 goal in his career. Goes for the big torpedo, going right to the line. Come back into play. But through for a behind.
Well, he knew his limitations, didn't he? Just kicking the torp, he knew he wouldn't make with the drop punt.
Well, he gets behind and he gets Adelaide to within 29 points. It's half-time here at the Gabba. 59 plays 30.
Tonight, Richmond have the unenviable task of hosting the Reverend's all-conquering demons. Can the Tigers spoil the Preacher's party? Richmond, Melbourne, tonight on Fox Footy Channel.
The Toyota Prado VX has hill start assist control, so you can climb at 42 degrees from a standing hill start. Downhill assist control, ABS, and emergency brake assist. And finally, Another essential four-wheel drive feature, downhill assist control in reverse. Driver assist technology, only from...
Oh, what a feeling! Tony thought the only way to win his father's love was to be good at sport.
Get up. I think he's better at football.
And the only sport he was any good at was swimming. John thought the only way to win his father's love was to beat Tony.
He did it. He's the one. I knew it.
Neither of them knew there were some races you weren't meant to win.
You lost the race. I don't give a damn about the race now. I lost my brother.
And some races...
You find somebody else to train you. Because you and me are through.
That were never there to be won.
It's good, isn't it, Dad?
Jesse Spencer.
Hard.
Tim Draxel.
Could win the Australian Championships next month. That's his dream.
Jeffrey Rush.
It's not my dream.
And Judy Davis.
The pictures in the paper, and that's all it means to you? Somewhere to put a glass of beer?
In the true story of champion Australian swimmer Tony Fingleton, swimming upstream, coming soon to Showtime.
Tuesday on Fox Footy, we bring you the second episode of Return to Sender.
That was one of the toughest weeks of my life.
In a rare and exclusive interview, Robert Walls catches up with Lions champion Nigel Lappin.
What's the architect? Lappin the finisher.
Wolsey asks his former charge about winning a premiership.
Best feeling I've ever had in my life.
And how the three-time All-Australian rates his fellow teammates.
Chris Johnson's probably the most gifted footballer I've played with.
A compelling interview with Brisbane's quiet achiever. Return to Sender, Tuesday on Fox Footy.
We're underway. The proposal for the Crows is 5 goals. Pay no attention to that score. They're 29 points down, but here's Hadley. Runs to the 50, tumbles it forward. Leach, oh, that's a clever take. Spins around. Will he hook it around enough? Oh. He does. Perfect start for the Lions. Now, Tony, their third quarter is an amazing quarter for them. They've won 12 of their 16 third quarters this year. Well, it's their best quarter.
It's not a great sign for the Crows. That was just beautiful play. We always think about Alistair Lynch, how he just body on body all the time, can take a strong grab in the one-on-one, but just the agility to pick that up at ground level on the half volley and snap it beautifully over his shoulder. Bad start for the Crows.
That man on screen has booted 3 goals. Alistair Lynch in game number 301. 621 career goals for Alistair Lynch. As Charman comes charging in against Clark. Here's Simon Black, leading possession winner in that first half with 19. Edwards had it 16 times. Risciuto 15, all tied up. Still inside the centre square. 3 goals to Alistair Lynch, 2 to Blake Carousel and 2 to Simon Black. And for the Crows, Luke Jericho has 2. Edwards breaks the tackle through the centre square, wobbles the ball out wide again. He's looking for Fergus Watts. McGregor looks like he's been moved forward, taken away by Watts, brought down in the tackle. It's bouncing towards the goal square. Chance now for Jericho. Can't get his boot to the ball. Hits the post.
Well done by Fergus Watts then, KB. You called him early, just got his boot to the ball, but just the agility at ground level to follow up in the marking contest. The other thing too, Tyson Edwards had a great second quarter. He's been playing on Michael Voss. I think he's had the better of that contest.
There's that look-away kick again by Chris Johnson. Just pulls it back across his body to Mel Michael. Taken away by Ackermanis. Charges down and kicks the ball to the half-forward line. Stengline. Around the corner, Ackermanis. Ran very hard from the centre square. Finds his partner in crime in Voss. Hobbles the ball back. Here's Bassett. Good strong grab. And a transfer of play to Goodwin.
Edwards is on out wide.
So good players combined well. Plus champions. Risciuto just bided his time. He was waiting for Bock. Ran hard, edge of the centre square. Caught behind that time was Jericho. Coming through strongly is Chris Johnson.
I think Tyson Edwards should have got the handball back from Bock then, because to kick long like that, that suits the Brisbane Lions.
McGregor has been moved forward. We thought that may have been the case last week, but they've done it this week just to give a bit of extra marking power. A lot of young players on the forward line for the Crows just haven't quite been able to hold their marks. Chance for Hadley. Edge of the centre square. Lynch backtracks to the goal square. Lappin for Ackermanis. Can kick a goal. Stands outside 50. Aeroplanes it in. And there's a good strong grab taken by Stevens. Now the whistle has gone for shepherding. And Alistair Lynch will kick goal number 4.
Well, Ben Ruttons, I think, slipped over and went to ground, but he's saying that Alistair Lynch pulled him back in the marking contest, but the umpire is very confident about the decision.
So they've come out firing. The Brisbane Lions 9-11-65, the lead by 34 points. This now to stretch it to 40. 4 goals to Lynch.
Well, that's going to happen when you're a youngster and you're giving away body strength. I know he's a big boy, but he wouldn't have had the years of weight training that Alistair Lynch would have had. And it looked like just behind play, we can see the umpire here. Lynch is trying to run to the ball, but Ruttons fell to the ground. She's not a lot in it either. Both were holding early, but because Ruttons went to the ground, he thought it had to make a grab at the jumper, and the umpire saw it behind play.
Alistair Lynch. Lynch has kicked the last 4 goals, and we said halfway through that second quarter he hadn't kicked a goal. He must have heard us, but his record against the Adelaide Crows continues. The last 3 games, 7, 7 and 6. And he's on track for that sort of finish again tonight.
Well, they think it's a problem with Ben Ruttons, and look, I haven't seen enough of him probably over his career to say whether he can play forward. I still think Ken McGregor could play on him, so it's a swap over if you want to go. I think that Neil Craig might have a fair bit of faith in this youngster, so he'll keep it for a while. If another couple of goals, I'll change it.
He played on Barry Hall as well up at the SCG. Voss, McGrath, just the fumble. Good enough to recover and give it back to Copeland. Hasn't Ackermanis started the third term on fire? Here comes Lynch and Carosella. Stevens was there. This is Rutten. They go back to Stevens. He's gone. So are the photographers. And Alistair Lynch gets up.
This is the problem with the Fab Five, that you take one man out of the play. Simon Black's been quiet about, had 15 possession in the first quarter, so Ackermanis is now bobbed up. It'll be Luke Powers.
He's next.
Sometime.
Boundary throwing. Crows should have the numbers here. Matner accelerates out of the contest. Rashudo busts out of the contest. But the Lions have still got it. Here's Voss. Clever handball from Hadley. Voss kicks the goal. He's got 2. The Lions are on fire.
Well, that third quarter statistics coming into play, Matty. Was it 12 out of 13, 12 out of 15, I think you said. Gee, that is a great stat. And just here, Rashudo tried to brush, and look at Simon Goodwin, copped it right in the nose, bounced off his head. Hadley, just great awareness. KB, he took that looking at the other side of the ground, but still knew Voss was there. He's a very important player to the mix with the Brisbane Lions now. Is Richard Hadley.
Voss has kicked 2 goals. It's starting to look a little bit ugly. 11-11-77. A lead by 46 points, 4-7-31. Brave early Adelaide, one of their young players, got in first with the ball, but all of a sudden the floodgates have opened up. Thump forward that time by Clark, trying to pounce on the ball is Skipworth. Young man in a hurry, back to Clark, stands and delivers, kicks the ball long, inside 50, coming out was Jericho, got thumped away. Best back line in the business. Ackermanis is hot in this third term. It came from Voss, finds Charman, Chris Johnson, Mel Michael, of course, part of the magic trio. Justin Lepage is off with a back injury. They drive the ball deep into the forward line, taken by Bassett to Goodwin. The defence under a lot of pressure now from Adelaide to Skipworth, trying to gain some run, finds Laddams, came into the side. Chance now, Rashudo. Skipworth runs hard, backs himself in, he's in trouble. Goes to ground.
Trip.
Trying to generate, put his teammate Stevens under a lot of pressure. McLeod has to hurry the kick. It's a good kick. Looking for John Cock. Pushed off Ackermanis, couldn't take it. And they paid advantage, and Tyson Edwards should run in and kick a goal. Closes to 25 and bangs it through.
Well, I don't know about the initial free kick against Jason Agamardis. I think the umpire said he didn't have eyes for the ball. Whether he grabbed the jumper, yeah, nearly a free kick. He just had a handful of back of the jumper. But John Cock just played on, quick handball. And this is what Tyson Edwards does so well. Very creative player. Although, of course, he got around a ruckman, so it wasn't too bad, KB. No disrespect for Jamie Charman, but he was going to do it with speed anyway, but he just threw up the dummy.
Tyson Edwards gets goal number 13 for 2004 for him, and the first one in the second half for the Crows. Margin back to 40 points. 11-11, plays 5-7, and it's Charman up against Clark, and Clark easily over the top. McLeod, did he have it? Umpire said no. He'll take the free kick. Copeland not happy with the decision. Andrew McLeod. Long ball, long lead from Watts, but reading it best and going back in the way was Johnson for his second clever mark in this third term. So Chris Johnson, All-Australian back pocket player. That's not a good kick. That's well marked by Stengline. He's got great courage, Tyson Stengline.
Well, he gets the big jobs week in, week out, and he normally doesn't fail.
McLeod just chipping it over to Edwards. Jericho provides the lead. He's got pace and he's got the ball. Outside 50 though.
He's got timing too, Jericho.
Heads to the goal square, one-on-one. McGregor is there, arriving late, Notting. Second man up, forces the rush behind.
I think you explained that, KB. I think I know what you mean, that he's got good timing to get on the lead, when to go and when not to.
Good timing. He leads at the right time so that the player with the ball is about to kick it. A lot of players lead when the player's running backwards, and therefore, then try to hurry the kick, or they just, ignore the lead because, nothing is in sequence.
They use their space up too early.
That's absolutely correct, and Jericho's fantastic at just picking the right time.
Have a look at this.
From full back.
Yep. And they've all combined. Lappin to Pike. And Black slips over it. He's still got it back to Voss, who just chips it ahead to Hadley. He's looking to share it. McGrath's run on from full back. Lappin is still going. 40 metres out. Oh, they can do what they like. They stand and applaud. Well, training drill, Tony.
Well, so are we applauding in here, because sometimes we know how the Brisbane Lions from full back can create by kicking the ball long, but that was just creativity and being under a bit of pressure, creating things to work their way through. Look, little kick here, keep possession, quick handball off from Hadley to McGrath, and another little chip kick. And Lappin was in the first part of that play on the wing, so just great creativity by the Brisbane Lions.
They were just running off witches' hats in that passage of play.
That's disrespectful for the Crows.
No, I'm not saying the Crows were witches' hats. I said they were running off witches' hats.
All right, that's
it was a training drill. Here's Goodwin and McDonald. Charman against Clark, outpointed. Black, a one grab player, just picks it up, whacks the ball out towards Akermanis. This time a rare mistake taken away by Goodwin to Rashudo, who continues to work hard. Finds Tyson Edwards to Riley. He's a good young talent. Spears the ball in looking for McGrath, and Bradshaw, just with body pressure, forces it over the line.
I think now that Tyson Edwards has gone to Jason Akermanis, well, Tyson Edwards has had 21 possessions, Akermanis now 20, but Jason Akermanis has had the better of this quarter. You just cannot tag the five of them, and that means two are going to get under your guard, and they're the ones that beat you in each individual quarter.
Lions by 45 points, power. Just a toe poke. Black, somehow he does that well. Falling to the ground, still gets the handball away. Akermanis, he is revved up at half-time. He is absolutely inspired. To Matner, that was a good take. Just needs some support. John Cock finds Bassett to Laddams. They just need to take a breath. McLeod to Bock. Developing as a key forward. Not such a great kick. Put Jericho under a lot of pressure. Had to sit underneath. Got forced under the ball. Taken away by Skipworth. This is good play. This is a great kick. And again, Mel Michael. The magic of Mel Michael getting a fist to the ball. Is it Copeland?
Robert Copeland.
Yeah, Robert Copeland.
The magic of Robert Copeland.
The magic of Mel Michael. He turned himself into Robert Copeland. The magic.
Just thought it was him running backwards. Nodding.
This is from the kick in again.
Centre wing. Looking for Hadley. Too strong.
Graham Johncock had the punch.
Too strong. Hadley kicks to the space.
That is
and
beautiful.
backing back was Carousella.
That was beautiful from Richard Hadley. Go ahead, KB.
It was a magic kick, wasn't it? It was like pulling a rabbit out of the hat.
That was Mel Michael
It
again,
just
wasn't it?
appeared.
Are we at the Gabba or Magic Mountain?
But the kick from Richard Hadley was just beautifully weighted. He didn't try and kick this to Alistair Lynch. He saw Carousella and just going back and his own man. I thank God he's saying that was Alistair and no one else.
Carousella has missed a lot of football this year too, Blake Carousella. That's such an important player. Kicked 2 goals, 1 in the first quarter, 1 in the second. Now he's kicked 1 in the third. Shot 3.
I think Brett Riley's got the job on Blake Carousella now. I'll just see what happens with that matchup. But gee, he's a player, and as I said, at half-time, he just finds space so well, and that time it was a backward space. Here's the kick. No doubt this was for Blake Carousella, not for Alistair Lynch on the lead. And Alistair just holds him up and say, well done. And there's Riley in front. He has to find out. He has to know where this player... He's a very hard player to play on, but you go in, he can push off. He's not quick off the lead, but he will push you off and then go into space again. But he just moves laterally. What I mean about that, if he's in the centre corridor, he finds spaces to the pockets very well.
Blake Carousella with 3 goals. Premiership player at the Lions and Essendon. Enjoying his time here up north. And the Lions, just like they did against Collingwood last week, blowing the game open in the third term. Voss went without it. McLaren didn't. Just punches it down towards the ground. Now there's a whistle. Free kicks go to Copeland, I think. Yep.
He's an important player, Robert Copeland. He can tag even good on ballers, Robert Copeland.
Buckley in the grand final.
Yeah, no, it just shows you what the talents he's got.
Ackermanis for disposal number 10 for the quarter, and we've got 11 minutes remaining. Hadley also getting plenty of it. To Copeland, he can go. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Well, we were just waiting for him to take one step, and McGregor was going to get him.
He tossed up before the start of the season whether to join the Tigers or stay with the Lions.
Yeah.
Oh. You just got to ask, if you're going to be fit enough and you're young enough, why would you leave an establishment like this?
Johnson to Ackermanis, play on, he gives it back to 55, chip pass, this time it's McGrath. The crowd will call for 50.
Metres. It will be too, I think.
And he's getting it.
Well, it's just
was
about...
it intentional or was it just an accident?
It's about time wasting. That's the rule, I think, that they push him to go to ground and that wastes time. Quite stupid. This is just falling apart now for the Crows. Again, if you're talking about playing off the cones, KB, that would have been their skill drill that they would have done week in, week out.
Coming up for the 6th goal of the quarter, and we're not halfway through yet. There it is to McGrath. Lions by 56. Dangerous times, Tony.
Well, we talked about being competitive, and look, the Brisbane Lions, Neil Craig, when he took over this club, said that they had to get greater consistency. Well, even sides who are very competitive have fallen apart. We're up against the Brisbane Lions up here at the Gabba. He still would have liked a lot better than what the signs we're seeing in this third quarter. He's going to make a couple of changes and maybe put extra men back in the fence. Rashudo's coming off half-back, and so is McLeod, trying to stem the tide.
McGrath on screen. 14-11-95. The Lions, the Crows 5-9-39. We talk a lot about the skill and the brilliance of the Brisbane Lions. But I tell you what, Tony, tonight when I say like running off cones, they run so hard from all points of the ground. They are arguably the hardest running side in the competition, and sometimes because of their brilliance you overlook the fact that they do all these hard things. And here's Lynch. He took a big grab. Loose ball, danger. Johncock happy to just paddle the ball over the line. Let's go down to Brad McEwen.
Yeah, thanks. Sure, he mentioned there Neil Craig before. Well, the Mail this week, I'm not sure whether we can get a shot inside the Adelaide coach's box. The Mail was that Stephen Trigg, the CEO, wanted to sit in there, watch Neil Craig perform, and just get an idea of whether maybe he is the man for the job.
Well, Brad, we've had a look at it. We can't see if oh, he is there too. He is there. Stephen Triggs there in the top right, but there's about 1,500 other blokes too.
Lappin took it from Black.
Standing room only in the coach's box at the Crows.
All the champs are firing for the Brisbane Lions. Penetrating kick. Voss looks dangerous. McLeod, the sweeper. There's too much carry on the ball. To Skipworth. And Notting, who is a thumping kick, will be shooting from just outside 50.
Just see if we can watch the goalpost. If we can get a shot of the goalpost, would be great. And I know I'm putting pressure, but just to see a bad kick here from Andrew McLeod. Too cute, might have to go for the boundary line, but I'd love to see how high this goes through the goalpost. This man is a thumping kick, and there's a great shot.
Starting to bend back. Bends it back. Great goal.
Beautifully done, Tony Shaw. That went through almost post height.
They're the extra height in the goalpost they have up here at the Gabba too, don't they?
I'm not sure.
They look a little bit taller. They look a bit taller, don't you reckon?
Not they do.
They're definitely taller. But then again, everything grows bigger up in Queensland.
7 goals for the quarter.
Bigger bananas,
and they're sharing it around.
But Tim Notting, he roots the ball. Great kick. Nearly post height. I think he guided that. I don't think he really had a real dip at that.
He's a lovely shot at goal there. Stephen Trigg in the back right-hand corner.
Yes. Just peering over the coach's shoulder.
He'd be happy, wouldn't he, at the moment?
Well, it's interesting.
What do you do when you come up here against the Gabba, Brisbane at the Gabba? What can a CEO get from just the way he goes about it and makes change? Does he have a good football background as he had? He did play in South Australia, didn't he, Matty, I think?
Yeah, he played at Central District. Coach Dirk.
Certainly give him just the coach's view of how difficult it is to get a side that struggled as they have this year.
But any CEO who comes up here at the Gabba with their record is going to be sitting in there thinking exactly the same thing. It's not going to be pretty, you would think.
Well, it's not pretty in this third term, is it? Because they're doing what they like at the moment. It's the same people. It's Ackermanis is just everywhere. Power out in front of Lynch. Fairly casual. Went to ground. Kept going. Got support from his captain, who chips it over the top. Power or McGrath? Power. I think McGrath had a bit of it as well.
This performance is a little bit frightening for the rest of the competition. We know St Kilda were fantastic last night, and of course Melbourne have still got to play.
Power chipping. Sorry, Kevin. This is Van Lapham.
This is the sharpest I've seen the Brisbane Lions for a long time in this third quarter.
Yeah. Well, they did it last week, though. They did it last week. So
what we're probably seeing, though, is that with that battle for top spot, it's going to come down to percentage, or it may come down to percentage. They're keeping the foot down a bit longer.
Yeah, well, Lee Matthews said that.
He's not going to rotate his players off the bench as much. Lappin, another goal to the Lions. It is raining goals. Second goal of the third term to Nigel Lappin. 8th for the Lions, and there's still plenty of time.
You might be right, and I like to see that Lee Matthews has said we've been the yardstick for 3 years, but we want to make sure that we qualify as high as we can by looking after percentage, and that's what winning's about. You don't flirt with your form, KB, as they say, the old saying, and I just think all these good players in the midfield are having another influence. You can rest him in the last quarter. Even then, I think Lappin just likes to run as hard in the last quarter as what he does in the second. And now that he moves from back into the into the midfield after half time, no one can go with him.
And there's Wayne Carey also in the coach's box. So they do have a few in the coach's box, don't they?
There's plenty.
Probably just all gathering their thoughts and looking ahead to the future.
Darren Jarman, Mark Micken.
8 goals to 1 as Red Bigland stumps the ball forward, taken away by Copeland to Bradshaw to Power. This machine is absolutely purring. Caracella has booted 3 goals, 1 in each quarter on centre wing. High ball. Martin Pike sets himself from behind. Got his hands on the ball, couldn't hang on to it. Just not enough purchase, taken away by Tyson Edwards. Wants to go short. Finds Laddams. So a transfer of play just to try and set something up for the Crows. Stengline, a bit of talk that he'll be heading back to the west. We were over there last week, which was a bit disappointing for, say, Chris McDermott. He thinks they can't afford to lose him.
He's a wonderful player.
101 games. John Cock. Short to Goodwin. And again, that flow has been stopped. Look how hard they've run back, the Brisbane Lions.
They want you to kick the ball long because then they spoil it 30 yards backwards. If they kick the ball long and the Crows now, you just watch how far they thump it back, the Brisbane Lions. But they're getting a couple of loose players in midfield. McLeod again. Goodwin's running forward.
But he's just looking at a war of players now. Goodwin has to run hard towards the boundary line, so he's really tight and squeezed up. And there's just a wall of Brisbane players. 107 plays 39. There is no let up from Brisbane.
Let's have a look how the spoil goes here.
Well, Mel Michael is going to come from behind with that big fist. And goes, yes, bang. Taken that time by Copeland. It was a wild hand pass. Jericho belts the ball back to the goal square. And now Martin Pike, who went for a screamer in the goal square a few moments ago. That tells you how much they're pushing back into defence, as marked in the goal square. The run comes. They love to run with the ball to set it up. To this man, Black. Edge of the centre square. 28 possessions to Simon Black.
He's been disappointing since quarter time.
Oh, yes, he's been very disappointing. Carousella just pops it in short.
Well, he had 15 in the first quarter. He's just been brilliant.
Riscatelli has got it. Michael Riscatelli. Now, he's never kicked a goal. This is his first game.
Oh,
he's
have a shot.
Phone call. They said, you better jump on the plane, get up here. Your son is going to play.
I hope all the players are telling him to have a shot. He might even just, this is disciplined play for a youngster, isn't it? Lobbed it to the top of the square.
And then just bounces through for a behind.
I love seeing that because he would have known what the team rule is, and there was no way known he's going to put himself.
Forget the team rules, Tony. Have a shot. The kid's 18 years of age. He hasn't kicked a goal in AFL footy. Let him have a shot at goals.
I said that. I said it, KB, but I know the way Lee Matthews coaches, and if you want to go outside the team rules, you'll be sitting on the bench. I think he wants to be out there for a bit longer.
Lee would have had a shot.
I'm certain I'm standing
900
here.
goals.
I'm certain I'm standing here with two grumpy old men.
Taken away by Stengline to Edwards. He just wants someone to run hard. He wanted to lay the ball off. Now he goes to McGregor.
Their half forwards, they have not had a half forward line at all in this quarter. And the ball, look, you've got to, I don't want to be too critical, but the ball hasn't got down there a hell of a lot either.
Ken McGregor, good effort. I just ran out of room. The boundary line arrived. Adelaide still trying to search and get forward and find an open forward. Ball's inside their 50 now. Chris Scott come over the top. Bock. Chris Scott throws him to the ground. Still going though, Adelaide. McGregor, quick kick forward. Skipworth, can he get free? Handball over the top. They finally worked it out. And Mel Michael smothered.
The magic of Mel Michael.
The magician.
Fergus Watts thinking, here's an easy goal. Yeah. And Mel had a little bit of a smirk on his face saying, great play. 150 games tonight. And have a look at this. Fergus Watts thinking, oh, what's going on here? We can't even get a cheap one.
Was that Robert Copeland or Mel Michael?
That was
they
Mel
ever been
Michael.
seen in the same building together?
They have been, but no, that's mighty Mel.
Great play.
Amazing. 16-12 to 5-10. Sorry, Tony.
Well, 68 points ahead, and they've still got the desperation, although that's what you want your defenders to be like. Doesn't matter what the score is.
So you set him up for his league career too, Tony?
Yeah, gee, I coached him well.
Must have drove him mad when you kept saying you're going to play him on the forward line.
Long kick out, 2-on-1. The Crows. McGregor was there, and Ackermanis.
Oh, yeah.
Disposal 14 for the quarter. Black-like proportions from the first term. This is McGrath. Ackermanis has kept going.
He was on again if he hadn't slipped over.
So McGrath, who's also been involved in this goal fest in the third term, that set up Carousella. Stevens was always going to get there for the spoil, and he punches it over for the boundary line. The Lions' best third quarter for the year, and they lead by 68 points.
Well, Mel Michael never played forward at all when I was coaching, but gee, I just thought just a couple of times I'd love to send him down there, KP.
Why didn't you? You might have been still coaching Collingwood.
Yeah, don't know.
He might have kicked 100 goals for the season.
He saved a couple of hundred. He leaving Collingwood was a mystery to me at the time why he would have left, because knowing the key defensive area was a real problem for the club. And there's Ackermanis gone, he must be
he's
exhausted.
He's exhausted.
30 metres out from the Lions' goal. Edwards has not stopped trying, nor has Rashudo. That goes back to Carousella. misses the target. There's two lines to pick from. One is McRae, who's had a fairly quiet night, but he could just about get this home from just outside 50. Long ball for Lynch. Up it goes. Ground level, hitting the deck hard. McGrath, boundary throw in. 14 disposals for the third term for Jason Ackermanis to take his total to 26, and Simon Black leading on 29. Rutten, stolen by Voss. Ball's probably still going to be in play here. Shirley and Stevens, that's a horrible bounce. Luckily the Crows have the numbers. And there's another bad bounce. What's going on?
Oh, Rashudo's gone holding the ball. Oh, what a comedy of errors. The two Crow players in the first instance when Carousel had bounced back, but one of them had to mark the ball. Not enough talk, and then Rashudo not knowing the pressure from behind.
And then Riscatelli will have a shot at goal, Tony. And is he listening to you?
Have a shot.
Right. Michael Voss went straight over to Riscatelli after laying this tackle, said, well done, you've earned it. Now go back and kick the goal. Kick the ninth for the quarter.
I said, go back and handball it to me.
It's exciting times, isn't it, for the youngster?
That's a good shot of what faces him. Is it his first goal? It is. He's finished it. He's happy. The Lions' 32nd player of the year, Michael Riscatelli, kicks his first goal in football. The Lions have got 17-12. Adelaide 5-10. I hope you're enjoying this game wherever you're watching live on Fox Footy. Of course, you can catch my two fellow commentators on Grumpy Old Men on Wednesday nights, Tony Shaw and Kevin Bartlett, joining Bob Davis and Doug Hawkins.
We're not really like that, are we, KB?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. Great to see young Riscatelli then kicking his first goal in league football. It's something that he will always remember. He'll get that tape cut out and just play that over 100 times when he's telling his grandchildren about it.
Young boy from Keeler, and they flew his parents up, and Sean Hart had to pull out of the side, and he's kicked his first goal. Still a bit of pushing and shoving. There's Notting and Goodwin.
You reckon you want to get involved in that when you're 7, you know?
9 goals to 1 in the third term. Taken away by Skipworth. I like Skipworth.
He's been good tonight.
Looks like he's going to be a player for the Crows. Rashudo Gain stands and delivers, kicks a high ball. They've really fallen down badly across the half-forward line. They just can't penetrate this fantastic defence, and the midfielders run so hard to get there to lend a hand. They get to the front of the pack, the big fist comes away, they pounce on it, feed the ball off, and then they run hard. Chance for Black. Caught in the tackle by Laddams. Made no attempt to get rid of the ball then, Simon Black.
You think it should have been pinged?
Here's Ackermanis. He's had, 14 kicks in the third term.
And he's having a few more on the bench.
15, 16, 17. He's just had 18.
And waving to us up here in the commentary box.
Fox Footy. Brad McEwen said he was very disappointed with his performance against Collingwood and wanted to pull a big one out tonight. Well, he's done that. Here's a good grab taken by Stevens.
Well, Scott Stevens came into the game as a late replacement for Scotty Welsh. And Scotty Stevens, no, he wasn't late. Sorry, he was already Laddams was a late, but he was on the bench. I think he plays better as a forward. He has kicked, I think it was 7 goals in one game, but he did start in defence, came off the bench and went back into defence. And a talented player, but he just got to do it more consistently.
Former Sydney Swan in his second year with the Crows from 48 metres. Kicked a goal.
Well, I just wonder what the message at three-quarter time from Neil Craig would be. I would think they would he would try and say, I would like to get the last quarter as competitive as possible, and maybe even the score, not even the score, but just try to. Just not get blown away, because that's the only thing you can take out of this game. We see Scotty Stevens. Daniel Bradshaw should have been, tried to punch a little bit more then. Didn't get numbers to the ball on that occasion, the Lions.
They know where they are as far as their season, Tony. They're not making any changes to, Jericho or Fergus Watson.
Keep them up there.
Young kids there, and they're going to leave them there playing against the best in the business. Get some experience.
Margin is at 68 points after being 29 at half-time as Luke Power drives the Lions forward again. This is John Cock, gets the better bounce. They've had some ugly ones in this third term. Oh, there's Riscatelli with another good tackle. And he's got another decision holding the ball.
Well, Graham Johncock, he's had a fairly poor night tonight. Just a look-away handball, and he put his teammate under enormous pressure. I don't think he was waiting for the handball. And Riscatelli, great tackle. There's no doubt about his intensity at the ball. Can he make it 2?
Can he make it 2?
There it is now. His teammate didn't really know it was coming. It was behind him. He lost his momentum when he was running because he had to go back for the ball. And Riscatelli, a great tackle.
Young man playing his first game, just 18 years of age, lining up for his second goal. A little bit further out than his last one. Angle a little bit better for him. Siren sounds. Riscatelli kicks his second. The Lions get 10 for the quarter. They will celebrate, as will the crowd here at the Gabba. They'll be on their feet for a standing ovation. The triple premiers flex their muscles and just show the rest of the competition how good they are. 10 goals to 2 in that quarter, and at three-quarter time, the Lions well in control. They lead by 74 points here at the Gabba.
Last time they met, the Blues stole the 4 points from the Cats at Optus Oval.
Fantastic start to the Hornets.
Today, Fox Footy Channel brings you all the Round 17 action from the Telstra Dome as Geelong takes on Carlton live and exclusive across Australia.
Great vision.
Digital subscribers, press the red button on your remote to experience our revolutionary new Fox Footy Active coverage. Geelong, Carlton, today on Fox Footy Channel.
Nothing like a few days on a boat, eh, boys? Oh, well done, Marlon.
Marlon? Why Marlon?
Buckle up. Buckle up.
This is better than the real thing. How about a goal, guys? Get the dog to get you one.
Back on the track for a little greenback. Just the man losing my mind. Out of sight in the night, out of sight in today. Looking back on the track, gonna do it my way. Looking back.
Fox Footy brings you the gospel.
Oh, we get another kid, really?
4 footy players with an opinion on everything.
Who cares? He might be trying to get a free. Good luck to him. Well, if he's going to that extent, he should be rubbed out.
The Gospel, Friday night on Fox Footy Channel.
But here's Hadley. Runs to the 50, tumbles it forward. Lynch, oh, that's a clever take. Spins around. Will he hook it around enough? He does. Three-quarter time, the Lions with their best third term for the season and their best ever against Adelaide. They lead by 74 points and they had plenty of possession in that quarter. Simon Black still leads the list. Time to check on the three-quarter time score from the Western Bulldogs and Collingwood. If you don't want to know the score, you're going to look away now. Michael Riscatelli was a late inclusion in this side for Sean Hart. He kicked 2 goals in that third quarter. I'm sure there's a very proud father with Brad McEwen.
Absolutely, Matty. Ezio Riscatelli, congratulations on your son's done a great job. Now tell us how you got a phone call at 1:45 today in Melbourne.
That's correct, Brad. Yeah, we got a phone call about quarter past 2. I was working and we were told Michael had phoned up earlier, about 5 minutes earlier, and said that he had been Lee had called him and said to him that you're in the squad tonight, so see if you can get your parents up here. Shane and he phoned me up and tried to organise a flight, which we all did. And I tell you what, it was amazing how we got everything together very quickly. We just sort of did everything so amazingly. Everything just sort of fell into place. And I think we arrived here and Shane picked us up from the airport about 6 o'clock, just after 6, and got to the ground about 20 to 7. So
fantastic.
Amazing.
Not only that, you see him lay 2 great tackles and kick 2 great goals.
Yeah, he's renowned for the really hard tackling and tackling with the guy with the ball in his hand. He's very good with that, very strong.
Now I'm told last year's draft you woke him up. He was asleep after the school social. Didn't believe he was drafted.
That's absolutely correct, yes, Brad. I woke him up. We weren't expecting him to be drafted, to tell you the truth. We were just watching some of his friends from the other squads and that. We were hoping some of them will get drafted, which they did. And when Model's name came up, we were astounded. We were shocked more than anything. But good luck to him and good credit to him. when I went to wake him up, he didn't believe me.
Yeah, well done, Ezio. You've done a great job. He's out there, he's playing. Enjoy the rest of the game. Well done.
Thank you very much, Brad. Thanks for Fox Footy. Thank you.
That's a very proud father there at 3 at quarter time. He kicked 2 goals in that third term. The Lions kicked 10. And amazingly, Tony, inside 50s in that quarter, the Lions 14 for 10 goals. Adelaide 13 for 2 goals.
You wouldn't have picked that up in general play.
Underway for the last term, and Jamie Charman's gone down. Lions go forward. Carousella was looking for Ackermanis, but the Crows have read it well. Out wide, Skipworth. Prosciutto continues to run. Searching kick. Pike reads it the best. Handball over the top to Michael. Pike gets it back. It's the old 1-2-3 from Lappin, and Michael Voss is standing on his own. Simon Black's running with him. Open forward line now. They just go short to Ackermanis. Take your pick of the Brownlow medalists, and here comes Lynch on a lead. He's got it. Wants some support. Back to Ackermanis. Off one step, chips to the goal square. Chips a goal. One step from 50 metres, and Ackermanis kicks the goal. He had 2 or 3 players to kick to. Jamie Charman was standing on his own, and the Lions have picked up in this last quarter where they left off in the third.
Well, that's Jason Ackermanis' first goal. He would have set up maybe another 5. And again, that was like a training run. They just used each other up. No pressure on the middle of the ground from the Adelaide Crows. And then even Lynch coming out had to have other players around him to tackle. And 1-step kick from Ackermanis, great goal.
28 possessions to Ackermanis, 30 to Simon Black, and Voss with 21. So the 3 Brownlow medalists. And then, of course, throw Nigel Lappin with 17. Favourite for the Brownlow this year. All the big guns, all the stars, the playmakers, the generals are playing a great game. Bradshaw around the corner. There's Black, speak of the devil. Just a casual bounce. Inside 50, looking for Lynch. Hits him on the chest. Chris Catelli was taken pick number 61 by the Brisbane Lions. That's good recruiting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And
kid didn't even expect to be picked up, and Dad having to wake him up and say, listen, you've been picked up in the draft. The kid can't believe it. That's good recruiting. Pick number 61.
After this kick from Alistair Lynch, I just want to talk about Simon Black and how intelligent a footballer he is and how he does it on a football ground. And after the kick, we can talk about it now because that's out in the full by a mile. But the thing about Simon Black, if the ball goes into their defence, what he does, he makes a decision quickly. Will we win the ball? Now can I be an offensive threat? And he works to the wings all the time. A great player who has to play against a fair lot in football was Greg Williams, and everybody knew that he read it a kick and a half ahead of play. That's exactly what Simon Black does, just smart, intelligent football.
John Cock has got it. Across half back for the Crows, 16:46. They trail 19-13, 127. 10 goals won. Brisbane Lions kicked in that third quarter. It was magnificent football. 10 goals won to just 2 goals. Power, been one of their stars this year, goes wide to Johnson, who was just fantastic in defence in that first half, particularly in the first quarter when it was a little bit hot. Taken by Ackermanis. He is hot. Acker's hot. Kicks a goal. Right foot, left foot. Call it as you like, Tony.
It is good. I got to take it back because you said, I think it was in the second quarter when he had a shot, I thought he should have straightened up on his right foot.
Correct.
Well, he's kicked it from exactly the same spot on his left. And that is just beautiful. You don't see many players who've got the skills on both sides of the body as Jason Ackermanis has.
Well,
what a second half he's playing. And it's his 250th career goal.
Gives himself a clap.
As only Jason Ackermanis can. A sorry scoreline at the moment for the Adelaide Crows. Halfway through the second quarter, they were 10 points down. And it's the same, the usual suspects again. Power and Lappin combining. Here's Black. Made the decision to run forward, as Tony mentioned. Scoops it back, almost a throw. Hadley. Ackermanis, one step. Is it another one?
I think it is.
It's 3 for Eka. The hat-trick. Right foot, left foot, right foot. 1 step, 2 step. He can do it all. I can't believe what we're seeing here. This is just, they're doing what they like.
It's awesome.
Well, you know, look, the problem is there's no pressure out in the ground now, but that was again a 1 step. That was his preferred foot. And he's just had a golden 5-minute period, hasn't he? And we know he can do it. It's just one of the most exciting plays ever to play the game.
That man on screen.
I'm trying to see who's picking him up, KB. That's the thing. It might be Tyson Edwards who's standing next to him. I wouldn't be doing that if I was Tyson Edwards. No. I'd be moving away by about 10 metres.
Yeah, you mingle with about 5 other players, and then people like you, Tony, have to try and work out who's playing on him. He's kicked 3 goals in this last quarter, Ackermanis. How many possessions to Ackermanis in that third term?
14.
14. And then they gave him a rest. Rested up all right. He's come out.
He's already had another 4 with 3 goals and 3
It's an amazing game since half-time.
He's a good player, this Richard Hadley. Very good. He's 6'3" and he's playing in the middle of the ground.
Richard Hadley, yes, and just a handful of games before the grand final last year. Kicked a goal in the grand final. Just playing game number 19 is Bradshaw from centre-half back to Scott. Set to play a cameo role tonight. Clark Keating's not playing. Jonathan Brown's not playing. Darryl White's not playing. Brad Scott's not playing. All premiership players. Lappin goes wide to Mel Michael. Steps around. Fergus Watts finds Voss.
Now this is becoming very embarrassing for the Crows if it hadn't started a lot earlier.
Here comes Lynch.
Very, very embarrassing. Their lack of pressure. This is what Neil Craig would not have wanted.
Does this help Neil Craig? He took over against Adelaide, of course, and they had that great win. Does he have to produce something in the last, 5 or 6 games of the season?
He made the comment, KB, when he took over. He made the comment that he wanted to be competitive more consistently, and this is non-competitive at the moment.
Because Chris McDermott told us last week that he was an absolute shoo-in for the job.
Okay. We did raise it with Chris last week, though. What if they lost all the remaining games? Surely that doesn't make him a shoo-in.
And by big margins, there's no doubt you'd have to question what's going to happen next year.
Alistair Lynch doesn't miss. He's got 5. But Chris McDermott said that he's signed and sealed because he said he's been the coach-elect waiting in the wings. And I think by listening to him talk last week at his press conference and the way that he structured the side with his young kids, that he feels confident that they're going to see what they've got in the last half a dozen games of the season, and that gives them a bit of a sounding board for the start of next year.
Yeah, I know that, and you know that. You've coached and I've coached. The only thing is, sometimes board members get a bit jittery when things go the other way and they can change their decisions.
Lynch has 5. Ackermanis has 3 for the quarter. The margin, incredibly, is 98 points. And Jamie Charman, covered in mud after a bit of a scuffle with Matty Clark. They've kicked 4 already in this term after kicking 10. And they're at it again. Riscatelli did well to get it to power, and he's just not sure which option to take. I'll go with Lynch.
You'd have to say, though, playing in defence now would be a nightmare. I mean, you can't blame defenders, Alistair Lynch leading like that. It's just, it'd be impossible to play in defence with so many players just streaming out of that centre square.
I feel for Ben,
Kevin. I was there the day that Geelong kicked the record score.
I feel for Ben Ruttons. You can't do anything when your midfield's getting smashed the way it is.
Lynch lining up for number 6. Goal umpire's pretty pleased. And once again, Lynch haunts the Crows. 6 more to Lynch. 5 for the quarter already. And the 100-point barrier has been broken. And Jamie Charman is a warrior. He's had a problem with his lip, his nose. Once again, this time he's limping. He's off, and perhaps he might not come back on.
Now, here's the centre bounce. This is where it happened. And he just looked like he twisted something as he fell there. He's a tough competitor. They wouldn't want to lose him. I know Lee Matthews got big raps on Jamie Charman, the way he goes about his football.
94 points is the margin. 28-12, 150. Plays 6-10, 46.
104, Kev.
104, what did I say?
94.
Oh, 104.
They've split the 100.
They've just put it up on the scoreboard. Bit slow here at the Gabba. They lead by 10 points at quarter time, the Lions. 29 points at half time. 74 points at three-quarter time. There's another good grab. That's Notting, leaping early in front of McGregor.
Well, no one's going to lead to Tim Notting. They'll just be saying, go back. Just a customary normal kick of about 60 metres, and let's just hope you can kick it straight.
Well, he's a big kick. We said that before.
104 points.
He popped it through. Didn't let us down, Tony.
They were 8-11 at half time, so they kicked 15-1 since.
Could kick 20 goals after half time the way we're going.
Great camera
awesome
work.
Display.
Great
awesome
camera
display.
work.
He's a big kick. He's way off target. And then through for a minor score. Let's go down to Brad McEwen.
Yeah, thanks very much, Matty. We'll try and get an update on Jamie Charman. You can see, you might be able to see Nathan Bock in the Adelaide dugout. Under that tracksuit, he has a very large lump of ice, so he's done something to his right shoulder. So night is certainly over for Nathan Bock.
Okay, 105 points is the margin. Tyson Edwards just weighing up the options. Not too many because McLaren's going to thump the ball from behind. Pounced on by Copeland. Finds Hadley. Best disciplined side in the business in punching the ball from behind. Never take a risk, the Brisbane Lions. Well drilled.
It's mainly in two areas of the ground, isn't it? When the ball's bombed forward from the opposition into their defence, and whenever they kick, someone kicks the ball out long, they will just punch the ball back because they know they've got zone players playing forward. All the opposition's running the other way.
Hadley trying to bend it back, not quite.
Richard Hanley, 19 disposals for the game. And
you think he might be bigger than 6'3" in the old, Matty? That's how
he's closer to 6'4".
Gee, that is amazing. Goodwin and Notting the same.
Big long kick from Goodwin. He was looking for Rutten. Bassett was crumbing, did well. Matner to McLeod. Crows going forward. It's a rarity. Spoil came, as Kevin would mention. It was a strong spoil from Pike to Voss to Pike to Voss to Black. And a bit risky there. They wanted Chris Scott. Ball's still alive.
He's hurt his knee. Scott's hurt his knee behind play. He's going to get the ball back.
Get a kick.
Do you recover quick?
Recovery is amazing. Lynch on a lead. Crumming. McGrath. Also John Cock for Adelaide. And another boundary throw in. And Chris Scott just getting back to his position. And Brad McEwen is on the boundary.
Yeah, probably the most important information of the night. We saw a marriage proposal on the screen before. Well, that was David McGraw, a Lions supporter. He proposed to Karen Shepherd, a Crows supporter, and she said yes.
Well, she looks at the scoreboard. She might swap reconsider. So good to see. Congratulations as Johnson finds Voss. Sliding in. Handball to Ackermanis. The fall for the corner. Oh, yeah. He's got it, and he's celebrating. He'll go back and thank his skipper.
Well, so he should thank his skipper because he's kicked his fourth goal for the quarter, all from handballs. But that's what a good player does. He knows when to go get the ball, he knows when to get out the back, and he knows how to link up. On this occasion, Chris Johnson, a little chip kick for Voss. And before anybody could react, before he came up, there's the man who knows he's a designated receiver. And the way he kicks the ball, that's why he should be that. One of the greatest finishers in the game at the moment.
Ackermanis has booted 4 goals, all coming in this final quarter. Here's Scott. Ball thumped away and landed heavily, but soon recovered.
When he was going to get a possession. All the pain goes out the window, doesn't it, when you know you're going to get the ball again, KB?
Listen to that chant. Acker, Acker, Acker. As Clark gets his hands on the ball, pinched this time by Power. They're just waxing. Hammers the ball back towards the half-forward line. McLeod has time to steady. Finds Goodwin to Tyson Edwards. He's been brave tonight, but the tackling again. Ferocious from Power. And he has been pinned.
He played 14 minutes and they've only had 15 disposals in this term, Adelaide.
match. 16 goals to 2 since half-time. Martin Pike just conceding ground.
Is that 14 disposals for the team?
For the team, well, 15.
That is amazing statistic.
Here's Notting. He's been really playing as a tall forward, hasn't he?
Centre-half forward.
Yes, you know, and also
he is
taking
tall.
a spell in the forward pocket
He's
as well.
6'3", 6'3.5".
Have they got anyone under 6'3"?
No. Lukey Powell's just put on 6 inches overnight.
McLaren, he's 7'6". Gets his hands on the ball, taken away by Notting. John Cock to Shirley. Just too much carry on the ball. Hadley, who's 8 foot according to Tony Shaw.
No, 7'12".
Ackermanis. Nothing happening. He's given away the free.
He's 7'12".
Is he? Risciuto. Another good game by Risciuto. That's possession number 27 in a side that has been absolutely smashed. And Tyson Edwards is 26 and McLeod 21. So the three big players for the Crows have been valiant tonight. They've tried hard, but they just haven't had the numbers.
Let's head down to Brad McEwen for an update on Jamie Charman.
Yeah, night's over for Jamie Charman. He's got ice on his right knee. Now, that is a worry for the Lions, considering Clark Keating's still a couple of weeks away.
Chance for Edwards. Back to McGregor. Everything has dried up for the Crows. Skipworth.
I liked his game, KB.
He looks like he's a coming player. Big fist away by Bradshaw. Just when Biglands thought he was going to hug it to his chest. Mel Michael gave the stare. Taken away by Stevens. Didn't really hit the target. They have to backtrack. Concede ground. Skipworth just skips around his opponent. Trying to sidetrack that time with Stevens. Desperate play by McRae. Has forced the free kick. And McRae, whilst some players are wrestling, he looks for Hadley, who rockets the ball to Lappin, who comes off half-back, takes a casual bounce, runs to 50, can't bring it back. He'd be disappointed.
What about the handball from Richard Hadley over the top?
He's enjoying a good last quarter, Hadley. 24-14, 15 to 6-10. Jamie Charman will be a bit concerned. He's had a tough night physically.
Richard Hadley, 22 possessions, but just the way that he floated that handball out in the space so his teammate didn't have to stop just shows he's got a lot of ability.
McGregor once again the target to Risciuto. Driving up the line. Good sliding mark there by Stevens. He's not sure. He's been given the benefit of the doubt by the umpire. He can go back and hit it long. Fergus Watt's the target. Again, the Lions just get back. They know the spoil's coming. They get front and square and they share it now. Power and Voss. Up the line, Notting. Through the middle, Johnson. And he can go further afield to Chris Scott, who can head straight. He's just got to get round one player. He does now and chips it into McLaren. Hands off. Voss. Bit of space for Lynch. Crumbing though, in the right spot, Lappin. He just missed one. Will he miss the second? No. He makes amends. They get their 7th for the quarter, and they make the margin 119 points.
Well, just the way that was played and the lack of pressure. You can't be, well, you have to be critical of the lack of pressure in the second half because that's what football's about. To be able to run free, to take 2 steps like Voss was able to do to set up Lynch nearly to mark the ball. Problems with the Crows is that, gee, you're not good enough, but gee, you can try harder than what's happening here tonight.
25-15, 165 the Lions. The Crows are 6-10-46. That man's boot at 3 goals, all coming after half-time. Ackermanis, 4 goals, all coming after half-time. Those 4 goals, in fact, all in this last quarter. There's Jamie Charman, looking a little bit sick and sorry. 3 goals also to Caracella and 6 to Alistair Lynch. Popped a hard whack earlier in the game too, Jamie Charman. Had to go off and had to get his nose all plugged up, and now maybe a slight leg injury as well. As Simon Black, that's ticks over possession number 36 to Johnson. Possession number 19 coming out of the back pocket. looking for McLaren. Good enough to break the tackle. To Hadley. Pulled up the ball. Ackermanis. To Boss. The greats combined. And Boss.
Well, he owed him one, didn't he?
Goal number.
He owed him a couple.
That's goal number 3, in fact. Kicked the goal in the second quarter, the third, and now in this final quarter.
Well, great play by McLaren to keep the ball alive. Even the youngsters are showing that this game you never give up on effort, and then, gee, everything's working the Brisbane Lions. 2 players in front of him, the ball was floated as Ackermanis marked it, and Voss just easy goal in the square.
Voss with 3, and the rout continues. 171 to 46. The Lions looking at a 20-goal second half. Still 8.5 minutes remaining. They've kicked 18 so far. Their 4th ruckman is out there now, McLaren. Keating, McDonald and Charman, all injured. Shirley spinning out of trouble. It's a Stengline. Adelaide, this is promising. And Jericho on the fast lead will take a shot at goal. It's all dried up for the Crows. They haven't scored in this term.
Look at Chris Scott on the mark. He's even said the umpire, I think it's up here 2 metres ahead of where the umpire is standing. They do not want to give him an inch. And that's why they've been such a great competitive side. Even here, like you know, Jericho's going to mark the ball. Look at Chris Scott. I want to give you an easy one, son. I'll take you to the ground so you can't play on or get around me.
Here's Jericho for number 3. First real shot on goal for the Crows for the quarter. Drifts across. Stevens has marked it. So now he will have a shot from the other side of the ground. Scott Stevens, the former Swan. There we go. Jamie Charman couldn't do it earlier. What's Stevens done?
No.
1 point.
Yeah, with his right foot coming into the goal, you think he may have been able to run straight at the goals on that occasion to kick. But he wanted to open up the goal mouth a little bit more. Let's see what happens with Chris Johnson kicking. I'd love to see him kick a long KB just to show people how he uses the ball from full back. We know he can short pass and he's going to mess it up for us, but...
Well, he went short, Tony. Didn't take one skerrick of notice of what you were telling him to do then.
No, I just wanted to see how his skills of looking one way and then kicking across his body to 55 metres, and he'll get it. He might do it this time.
Well, let's see. Take 2.
On his non-preferred.
Goes short. There's his mate, his partner in crime. Noel Michael. For Luke Power. Just sharing the ball around now, the Lions. Hadley runs hard. And marks. In front of Stevens. You like Richard Hadley?
Yeah, I do. Look, like I said, he's 6'3", and that's what they say. It says in the AFL record.
190.
That is, he's just a great midfielder. You know he can play half-back flank. And he did play in the forward line in last year's premiership.
Come off the bench and kicked a goal. It was a good one too at an important stage of the game. Before they really asserted themselves over the Pies. Back was caught. That's a rarity tonight. To Riley. Rising star last week. To McGregor. Didn't really hit the target. Trying to set it up. Kicks a high ball back to centre half forward. Chipping across in front is Parasalem. He's had a big night as well. He's kicked 3 goals. Riccatelli, who kicked 2 goals late in that third term. Gets the ball to McRae. Looking for Voss. Bassett closed very quickly. Thumped it down. Ackermanis. So quick. To Copeland. So good. Kicks a goal.
Well, they're enjoying themselves, and so you should when you're involved in a team. It's been one of the greatest in AFL history. And just to be involved in the class of having a Voss, Ackermanis, playing around those types of players, you'd get enormous enjoyment out of the game, KB. If you didn't, you'd have to be a block of concrete, you would think. And look at Acker's real happy. Robert Copeland, I think
there's nearly a spear tackle. If you get reported for that, you get about 8 weeks in rugby league for that.
What a second half by Ackermanis. 22 disposals and 4 goals. And that's a pretty dejected Jamie Charman, so perhaps
hopefully nothing's wrong with that.
It's a bit more serious than we think.
Yeah,
he is very dejected, almost in tears there. So maybe some real concern about a serious injury for Jamie Charman being taking the gloss off what has been an amazing performance by everybody involved. Hadley worked it free. Riley on the up. Skipworth, who as soon as he gets it, just moves sideways so they can't tackle him. But unfortunately, his kick has landed in the arms of Martin Pike. Over to Bradshaw, and they're away again. Bradshaw. Here comes Jericho. Bradshaw in the end. Up the line, and Riscatelli. Strong mark. Impressive little debut. Here he is again.
Who's playing on him? Who's playing on Jason Akamara? You'd have to be asked a question in the Crows coaching box.
High ball. Crows have the numbers going back, and Nathan Bassett takes a good mark. The margin is 130 points. They've broken all sorts of records here tonight. Largest score ever against the Adelaide Crows. Largest winning margin. It's the second highest score of the season. You name it, they've probably broken it. Powers had a big last quarter. Well, who hasn't? Johnson stood up on the tackle and gave it back to Power. Pike.
Hold the play on.
Yeah, going back, and Luke Power's just racking up stats here at the moment.
You don't count these.
Up towards Johncock for Adelaide, got there first. He's forced to go back and then spots a couple of players in the middle. Riscatelli cuts it off. Chip pass as he found the target he has. It's a well-weighted kick. McRae, he wants to play on, but he's going to go back and have a shot. Now, what was it, Covey? They kicked 10 in the third quarter.
10 goals,
9 so far this quarter, is it?
They had 18 goals to three-quarter time.
Okay.
Does Michael Riscatelli look like to Blake Carousella the way he goes about his play? He floats in, he looks like he's got long arms. He can take a better mark than everybody gives him credit for.
So McRae for the 20th goal of the half. You'd better believe it. They're not done with yet. Brisbane Lions have their third highest score ever. I think one year here against Sydney, they kicked 21 or 22 goals in the first half.
Yep.
And kicked 33 goals for the game.
Ron Barassi was, I think, his first or second game as coach of Sydney.
12 goal kickers to 5.
Riscatelli,
total dominance.
He has enjoyed a fine debut game, Riscatelli. Oh, what can you say?
Well, you
the signs just can't come quick enough for Adelaide Crows fans.
Neil Craig, you'd be sitting in there just thinking, really, you'd be thinking, can performances like this ruin my aspirations to be a senior coach?
What's that, 136 points?
Yep. Well, they won their first game under Neil Craig. They beat Melbourne by 72. But since then, no victories and a huge loss.
And there's
Hadley again.
Hadley, just for that long arm then. No wonder he's 6'8". He's growing by the minute. Bassett to Edwards. It's been good tonight. He's tried really, really hard. Along with Risciuto and McLeod and Skipworth. McLeod. Around Riscatelli. Tyson Edwards on centre wing. They push back so hard, the Brisbane Lions, it makes it very difficult for the Adelaide players to actually see what they want to do. They'll kick a high ball. Watts in a big pack. Again, a big fist away. Pretty smart, Blake, because he knows they're going to punch the ball. Why doesn't anyone else sort of come up with that idea that get in front of the pack because they're going to punch it, Tony?
I'm not too sure, KB. It's about discipline, isn't it? It's about discipline when you're tired also to keep doing it week in, week out. And that's the one thing that this Brisbane Lions, they will never, and Lee Matthews doesn't allow you to shirk anything on discipline.
Biglands this time gets his hands to the ball, taken away by Stengline. Scott waited for the bounce, got a good one. Power receives the handball, then hurriedly kicks the ball back. It was not in playing in front of McGregor, who toe pokes it off the ground, beats Black. McLeod just tumbled the ball off the boot, looking for Tyson Edwards. Wraps up Hadley in the tackle. Skipworth does a 360 and surely taken over the line.
Surely you can't be serious, KJ.
I knew you were going to go there.
With a line like that.
Look at that.
They're the rankings.
See, looks like the England batting order, doesn't it?
Well, Luke Power now is playing as a half-back flanker. They've moved Lappin onto the ball. Luke Power's gone back, and he's just racked up possessions in this last quarter also.
Ball goes forward. A big punch from Matner, and he's punched it through for a score.
That's what they needed in defence.
2 points in the final term for the Crows. And 10 goals for the Lions. Huge victory. They win in this game as very short price favourites, but I think everyone here is surprised by this enormous margin.
You know, the thing about it too, which is disappointing for the Crows, is a number of players mightn't have done their careers any good either, because you're playing for survival now that the coach, you don't know who the next coach is going to be. So really, effort is just so important to what's going to happen in the future.
You've lost 2 players tonight. Lippage, we're not quite certain, went off very early with maybe some problem, broken ribs or something in the back. So you'd have to have your fingers crossed. And Jamie Charman, he has been their number 1 ruckman.
Very good player.
He is a very important player for the Brisbane Lions. Now, if for some reason, we keep our fingers crossed that he's okay, but he's not easy to cover. I know Keating's coming back in, but their ruck strength has been the big power for the Brisbane Lions over that, when they've won the 3 premierships.
The crowd, in appreciation of this performance, are just chanting Brisbane. They realise the clock is running down, but I think they want one more. And if Tim Notting goes back and kicks it, it'll be their second highest score ever.
They want blood.
They are hard to please, aren't they? They are hard to please. I tell you what, it'd be a great feeling to just come to football at the Gabba every week to watch this side play and knowing that you're going to go pretty happy. At least it saves a lot of arguments at home.
They will continue to have a perfect record at the Gabba this season. And this percentage win, this will be very interesting to look at the ladder up.
Yes.
They will rocket up the percentage. Notting, big roost, pull it down, it's another one. 2 to Notting, 29 to the Lions. So we thought that third quarter was good. They kicked 10 goals. Well, they've beaten it. They kicked 11 goals straight.
Well, I think the one thing too, in one-day football, we just do not see score lines like this because so many sides just get numbers behind the ball and flood. Try to stop getting a big belting if you're halfway during the game and you're behind by a big margin. And maybe, look, I don't know, Neil Craig, whether he's just said, no, I want to see how these blokes can play in a free-flowing game against the Brisbane Lions. Anytime you do that, normally this is going to be the result, but not as big as this. As I said, very ordinary second half from the Adelaide Crows, and we can see Neil Craig there. I would believe he's thinking, gee, this does not help my aspirations as a senior coach.
They want 30 goals at the Gabba. They've got 13 seconds to do it. Skipworth. In fact, that was Shirley who kicked the ball back towards centre-half back. They've only got 3 seconds. They're going to miss out as Power has the last possession. What a performance by the Brisbane Lions. 10 goals in that third term, 11 goals in the last quarter. That man on screen, a young boy, has kicked 2 goals in his first game of AFL football. Jot down his name. Michael Riscatelli.